mid-June.
Okay, so the roadshow might be June 8th, but if Adair hasn't seen it to confirm, then it might be. Look it up yourself. I can go check when I sign off here, but she'll check it in a couple of seconds. But either way, that's just, if that's when it starts, it wouldn't open up for a couple of weeks after that anyway. So go ahead.
We're correct about June 8th, though some people are now saying you could get the prospectus as soon as next week. June 8th also when we're going to get the WWDC.
Right, so that's going to be a big date regardless. But yeah, if we get the prospectus, they're doing the prospectus a little bit sooner relative to the roadshow because they're trying to get as many dollars. It's a really big IPO. They're trying to get as much interest in it as possible. Bless you, Sharif. So that's one of the reasons they're doing it a little bit abnormal. Everything about the SpaceX IPO is going to be different. It's just not built the same in terms of size. They're trying to change some rules about how they can get this into the S&P 500 as fast as possible. That's just how it is. So take everything about this Cerebras and put it on, like crack or put it on a different level. SpaceX is just going to be built differently. It's the biggest IPO event that probably will have ever existed. Regardless of how it moves, it's going to be the biggest deal you've seen. It's past 11 o'clock. Apparently, we're going to have some Thai food for lunch, which is already here, so I'll be eating it early. And I'm going to throw you guys to Still Joey options. Of course, the professor is in the building now, looking fresh and clean. Looks like he's ready to go golfing, to be honest with you. You going golfing today, Sharif?
I'm staying outside in the afternoon.
Okay, he's going to be outside in the afternoon, so he's dressed for it. I'll be back. We'll see you for the lesson of the day. Let's throw it on over to the midday boys.
Let's go, baby.
That's our intro music, man.
Oh, you can't even see my face here.
Yeah, I like that.
I'm hidden, Joey.
No, the other day I was going to wear a hat, too.
Were you?
Yeah, I was, but then I didn't.
Friday,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a
maybe
good
we'll do it
day.
next Friday. We'll come in, we'll call it cool, what is it, just Relaxed Friday.
Runnings, I like that movie.
Cool Runnings,
Remember that movie,
we'll have the Relaxed Fridays, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
We'll come in with the athleisure wear.
Exactly. Let's say hello to everybody. What's up, C45 008? We got Chris Onion, my man. Omen. We got Stock Ed 983. Elevators make me fart. Shout out to my man Luis Barbado of A-Day Trading. We got Niva Bovin, my man. We got Econ Gate Arkansas joining us as well. And she says, I love me some all-day Jody used items coming in hot with that comment. We're going to say hello to Jody, Hangry Wife, Trends. Shout out to Sean Carter. And who's that? Pablo Cesar. We got Swizzler Sniper. Shout out to the Swizzler Options and Deep. Chris Godson and Learning to Trade. KC526. She's in the house. It's a good day. It's a good Friday when Casey's in the house. Good morning, Joe.
Yes, sir. Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone's having a fantastic one. You know what we've been trading here on the day already. We're just waiting for some things to load up here. Other than that, it's been Fig. You'll see it. So that's what Sharif is not short that, but we'll see a little bit of a transition to it. Yeah, no, that's fine. They can still see what position we got going on here as the market continuing its slide. Bitcoin down 3%, up substantially, giving back the majority of its move and then some from yesterday. We'll double check that just to make sure our facts are straight. But hey, man, we're not going to complain on this Friday. You get a little bit of selling. We knew it was going to come at some point. We just didn't know when. And it's unfortunate. It's like, hey, Wall Street, those guys are probably off to the Hamptons. It's starting to warm up relatively soon. So we know what's going on there. And I was actually just saying to Sharif, before we get into the options chain and go over our watch list, okay, did you just get that in your ear?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Disconnected?
Yeah, we're reestablished now. So I'm like, hey, man, what's going on with the financials? I mean, JPM, more or less what I'm referring to, and a couple of the other names. I think Morgan Stanley and Goldman Sachs are relatively close to their all-time high, but JPM not performing that well, still down 11% off of its all-time high. I'm like, what are we even talking about here? The hyperscalers are doing billions and billions of dollars, $500 billion in transactions. What are they doing, Venmoing each other? Like, why aren't the banks performing well? Someone has to move this money around, and that's why I'm going to remain bullish on JPM. Grabbing more of the CDR here this morning for the long-term account. So yeah, that's what we got going on, man.
Bro.
It just doesn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean,
bro? Like I was telling you, everybody's going to get their cycle, their moment in the cycle, and you got to ride, and you got to be smart about it. You got to pick it up when it's on sale. It's a good company, buy good companies. Who used to say that? that guy that has about 350 billion in cash. Oh, Warren Buffett.
Oh,
yeah, he knows a thing or two. Joey.
Yeah, indeed, that guy.
I want to talk about HUBC right now. We can't trade this one, but it is ripping. It just popped up through the flat top at 21 pennies. It's a 26.64 high. It is ripping through 26 again. There was a 23 buyer, and there is the high of day again, Joey, up through 27. HUBC is on its horse right now. The volume is really ripping into 30. There it goes again, high a day into 0.3. Of course, you know, we're talking about pennies here, but that's the move with these small cap gappers. You get in a few thousand shares with good risk management, of course, needless to say, and then you ride smaller moves. But percentage-wise, look at this. It's already knocking on the door of 100%. The buyers above 21 have been very aggressive. It's ripping up to 30. Technically hasn't gotten to 30 quite yet, 29.87. We're going to keep a close eye out on this one because it's really going. There was another halter. This one caught my attention soon as I sat down. It's already above 100%. In fact, it's 124. It's halted down. That's how these ones do, though. Into $9. Halt level 906. Halt time. We have it on a trading screen here. 10:57:02, meaning that the earliest it should have been open is 11:02:02. That obviously didn't happen as it's 11:06. So then we move on to 11:07:02. Current theoretical auction price showing a little bit lower, in fact, than where we halted at, $8.51 on PIII. Volume decent. It is a multiple halter, right? So when we do have these multiple halters, usually they tend to do a little bit less volume than the ones that aren't halting to no end. So PIII should be in focus. HCWB, this one looks like maybe the best trade is behind it here. There may be opportunities for some scalps. Specifically, the levels I'm looking at are $1.10. That seemed to have factored in as an area of resistance earlier in the trading morning. That's around 7:30. But of course, you need to be looking at the volume weighted average price sitting at $1.05. Now, given the fact that its proximity to the dollar is close, you may be talking about a range here, $1.05 to $1. Technical low on the day, and that's after 9:30, $1.06, but clearly it was trading sub $1 in the pre-market at around 4 or 5. In any event, $1.42 high. We're going to keep a close eye. And there goes again HUBC, Joey. It is ripping up, and there's 30 pennies. There's a seller at 30 here. It's done about 75 million shares, so a lot of liquidity. Let's see if I can get it. No, so this one probably doesn't do a whole lot of volume on the day, so we need to get this unblocked. But there it goes, 30.5. Really on its horse here, Joe. So keep an eye out on this one if you're a small cap gapper inclined.
Absolutely. All right, guys, let's head over to TikTok and see what we got going on. Bravely, our social media moderator. Let's get over there and give a couple of shout outs as we typically do. Finance expert. Oh, okay, what's going on? Peter Beck on If You Know, You Know on TikTok. Welcome to the show. We also got G Meta, Robert, Sean, Waze, Man Patel. What's going on? Adian Costa, Elfino. It's Eli, Miri, Tenya, Robert, and we have J Monster, Letty, Lucky, Untitled, and Louis Mondragon. What's going on? Freddie Lee, how's everyone going over there? Jay Moran, Jason, T Rose, Jeff Jurassic, Daxter, Leo, JR, Pyro, Rick Flowers, XOXO, Rick Flowers, T-Rock in the chat every day.
That's
welcome
fantastic.
Back.
I'm actually joking.
We love the consistency. That's what we're all about over here. But other than that, guys, we have oh, okay, Luis says something in the chat. I'll let you read that.
What did he say? Peter. We don't want to get fired here, Luis.
Don't. Yeah, we don't want to do that, man. You know? Just having to slip
take
out.
It easy.
But other than that, there, guys, no, we're getting Figma rolling into our area where we can potentially buy some more. You can see it's saying no position right now, but we've been in this name for quite some time, since earlier in the morning, and that was approximately at 9:46 a.m. We've been holding on to this, looking for that re-entry and the addition of shares for us that can to find a potential continuation of what we got going on here today. This name was up 20% off the highs. I got to do a little bit of a rotation of my configuration here. No, we're good. We got it now. So hold that level. We find any form of indecision print at the volume weighted average price on Fig, that's going to be our green light to go. Regardless if it works or not, we're going to add into this one because it was up 20% almost 20%. Here on the day. 13.4 now starting to come back in as the market is still holding view at Bitcoin not performing relatively well. Tesla below the volume weighted average price.
Those are a lot of percentages. NPI, we're gonna see how this one goes. Okay, 848 out. Buyer at 9 currently, having trouble through 9.25. Prior bar high, basically 9.5, 944. Watch this $2 area on the ask side of the level 2. You're going to see a seller, a staunchy seller in and around 26, 24, 25, in and around that area. Can't really print anything above that. There it goes. It's ripping now. Okay, there it goes through the $0.50. Now we're doing well. Looking for the move into the 60s now. We're going to post at the 2/3 area. Now it's going to struggle with the $0.50, but the good news is it now has breached prior bar high, at least on the 5, and there it goes into the high 50s. Looking for the move into 60, and it is ripping into 75. Watch out for pi here. Look for resistance at 10 initially. And then the high of the day is 1064. So if you clear 10, you're looking at that $0.50. And here we are. We're caught in a halt to the high side. 1001 halt parameter initiated. Looking for the halt into this level. But just I want to remind everybody, this one did halt up last time and immediately sold off. So that has to be kept in mind as we wait for this one to open up. And I think the last time around, this one was about 10 minutes as well. So we may be a little bit, we may be caught for a little bit longer than the typical 5. We're going to continue to watch PIII. It's looking good. It's got a bull flag shape on the 5. However, it's been the same area of resistance that's come in time and time again. Whether we're talking 1030, pop up into 10.25, immediately failed back to 8 4/5. Tried again. The subsequent candle, 1042, an immediate failure back into 893. So it's quite consolidative. Looks like the volume weighted average price and or 8.5 are featuring here as support, but the $10 level has been the key area of resistance. If we can clear this and you want to use the move methodology, then you're basically looking for a move into 15, give or take. Because the breakout area here is around 5.5. The current area high is about 10.5, 1046. So you're measuring here about another $5 move. We'll see if that occurs. So continuing to watch, PIII looking good. But there's also testosterone replacement therapy, TRT, into the high here at 1896. It's not actually testosterone replacement therapy, but you guys know how I do. I'm going to be calling it names. But the problem with this one is, number one, it's a bit spready. As I see it here, it's about 38 penny spread at the moment. That's first and foremost. Second problem is it doesn't give you a whole lot of opportunities, at least not lately, into the 10 moving average on the 5. You did get it once here at about 1030, but boom, right up. And it moved, I mean, like $1.50 within a couple of candles. So I like this one. Seems like there's a bit of resistance here at around 19. You're that close to 19. I mean, I'm thinking 20. So yeah, elevators. Let me just get this guy's full name. I love this guy's name, Assassino. You see this guy's name? Elevators make, oh, this one first. My bad, Assassino. Okay, where's that one from? Okay. Peter Hope, 3511. I flipped short on ONDS, say less. Let's take a quick look here at ONDAS. Have a look. What time are we expecting this bad boy to open up? So we're 11:11:19. It's currently 11:13. Let's take a quick look at ONDS, Assassino. Let's see what we got here. All right, so this looks like a good short, fantastic, in fact. $11 flat bottom break candidate. I can immediately see that. You're below the volume weighted average price, markedly below the volume weighted average price. You have a disgusting reversal, a Christmas tree reversal, in fact. We jokingly call it on the show. Shout out to Randy. But there is a staunchy buyer at 11. Moreover, the $11 level featured very prominently here in the pre-market as an area of resistance. It is now featuring clearly as an area of support. What I am buoyed by in terms of the bear case against this is the lower high setup. Area high into 1145, 1150, and then another failure here until lower high around 11 1/3. So I do like this. Look for a flat bottom break. Exercise sound risk management. If you're going to get in short at 11, my stop would be above prior area high. That takes you about into 11 1/3. I hope you absolutely print. Testosterone replacement therapy is ripping through 18.5 into 19.5. It is really going now. TRT, trade this one carefully. A little bit spready. Elevators make me fart. All right, Sharif, I made miserable $12 yesterday with CRBS. That's more than I made, man. I gave back a ton off the top. We don't need to go down that road. IPO and want to give it to you guys, $2 for Uncle Sam. Thanks for the energy. It was amazing. Let's go. Thank you so much. Elevators make me fart. I hope it was turned out a little bit differently. Alas, you know, that's how these ones are. They give and they take away. But that was the move yesterday. Yeah, we're going to keep a close eye on that. So, guys, what I'm waiting for right now is still PIII to open. So, currently, the time is, let's take a quick look at the time in sales. So, 32. So, this one will not open now. It's going to be another 10-minute halt. So, a little bit longer on this one. The top, though, not giving us cause for concern at the moment. Continuing to move up through 10.5 now into 10.53. Halt price 10.01. Let's not forget HUBC. It's back in business here. I want to see what this one does at 26. It is really going through 26. Good support at 26, and it's trying to make a move into 30. It's got higher lows relative to the prior bar, still lower high though, and then obviously still 30 pennies, an area of resistance with a 31.48 high. So be on the lookout here. HUBC is looking quite fantastic. Especially with that 26 penny area hold. Of course, got a sound risk management skills all the way through. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Rally, they giveth and they taketh away. Sharif Woods, yeah, right. Yeah, I guess it's the hat today. Guys, testosterone replacement therapy continues to rip. Where is this one traded? MX, of course. It's the MX. 1974 high. We were speaking about this one at 18.5. It is really going. It is on the move to 20. It is up 40%. It is spready. You need to trade it carefully, Joey. So we're going to continue to watch that. I'm caught in a halt into 10.53, waiting for that one to open up, Joe.
Nice, man.
Love it. What's wrong, Joey? Oh, you're muted, my boy. That's very disappointing. Assassino's very upset.
He knows, man. I know. I felt bad, too. All right, guys. Yeah, so there it is. We're starting to see some of the prints that we want in FIG for a potential reload here at the volume-weighted average price. QUCY has halted up on multiple occasions. Bitcoin having the inability to crack the volume-weighted average price, but the market not looking too bad here, guys. Head over to that 5-minute time frame. Apple was actually super strong here today.
Ripping, bro.
Yeah.
It's at all-time highs.
Is it at 302? Yeah, it was only a matter of time. Like, look at this thing. And I mean, we're talking about AAPL here, and the NASDAQ not participating. This is insane. This is a big-time move. Yeah, like, I mean, and so Neil and I did a poll yesterday to see what out of the Mag 7 you would like to own.
Yes, sir.
And Apple was on the lower end of the list. And it's just like, okay, we don't know why.
There's that consensus. I get it. I respect it.
Because why? It's not the chip trade. It's not the cloud play or anything. But how do you get
some legacy tech, bro? It's been around.
Who cares, man? Like,
I'm just saying.
Like, imagine sitting,
right?
imagine sitting in this. So I forget the new CEO's name already. I mean,
Ternes?
Yeah,
John Ternes.
John Ternes. There it is. I mean, what's this guy gonna do for this name for the next 20 years?
People hope that he's a products guy. He's pretty obsessive, compulsive when it comes to. Like the devices being top tier, he's kind of
that's good. That's what you want. I think that's what you want.
Which is kind of a Steve Jobs thing. There's a story before Apple actually allowed screenshots as a function in iOS.
Yeah,
they never actually had that. So this reporter, when the iPhone initially came out, wanted to create this kind of manual for the iPhone. So he's like, I want these screenshots so I can put them in my book.
Okay.
And so they had Apple actually was able to do that, but they had this tool. They didn't want the reporter to use the tool because it was crude and it wasn't refined, and they never wanted Apple to look the Apple products or anything that Apple puts out to be unrefined.
Hopefully, John.
So that's the kind of the mentality.
Hopefully, John brings back the fact that you can have YouTube open without.
You can, brother. You just have to pay. That's a YouTube thing.
You can, but for the average, but you just have to pay. That's how things go. All right, guys. So we're posted up at the level that we want. We're seeing an additional bounce here on FIG. I don't know if we're gonna crawl back towards the high of the day, but any pullback towards this 87 marker, we're gonna catch a fill, and we're gonna be adding to our current position, which you don't currently see right now. I only have 5% left. You can do it now for free. It says, hey, wife. All right, well, let me know. Let me know the details. Other than that, guys, we're not going to complain, especially with this name climbing. We have, what's his name? The buddy in the chat was just like, yeah, Inverse Joe, we bought Microsoft. But I've been saying buy Microsoft for quite some time. I don't know what this guy's talking about. 410 all the way up to 426. Right, and it's breaking trend on the daily. So let's pull over, or let's pull up to our daily and see what we got going on. We're down 23%. Watch out for this laggard. And I've been mentioning this trendline snap. We have multiple points at which we can refer to. Now, let's see if we can continue to recover here in Microsoft.
All right, brother. Yeah, I saw that Ackman call today. I'm kind of a little bit completely out of the news cycle, but I did see that Ackman call, and there you go. 3 in the third for the soft one. It is by far the best performing Mag 7 on the name. I'm still waiting for resumption here. Hopefully we'll get resumption at 10 minutes. Recall halt time 11:11:19. That means earliest open is 11:21:19. We're 11:20:40 currently, so still continuing to watch. But there goes HUBC, pardon me, again. It is accumulating now at 28. There seems to be a buyer in and around 28 for a break into 30. Let me just check if anybody's unblocked this yet. No. Just fine. Here comes 29 again, trying to go through 30. Here comes 30. So HUBC's ripping. I'm waiting here for a PII to open up. Let's see, at 19 coming up. That should be in about 10 seconds or so. So we'll see. It doesn't have to be a 10-minute resumption. It could be 15. Top showing 11:40. It is ripping. Halt price 10:01. Let's see if there's a big drop. 10:45. It's absolutely ripping up through 12. There's 12 and a quarter. Halt level up is 1260. So halt up 1260. Here comes 12 again. There's 12 again. Holding. Let's see. We got 912 on. Watching. Looking through the move through 12. Nope. Failure back. Let's see where the buyers step in. Do they step in at 11? They're stepping in currently at 11. Let's see if that fails. Watch both the bid and the ask. Look for buyers to step in at key levels and see if they repeat. Continuing to watch here, Joey. Okay. Through that $11 hold area. Looking for a bigger move. There's that move in. Okay, it's going to fail 11. Again, there's a buyer at 11. So the buyer just keeps stepping in at 11. I'm not going to get rid of this until we fail a key level. There's no reason for me to get out. So continuing to watch. 11 and I would say 11 mid-teens. Here comes 11 again. Wow, that buyer 11 is an aggressive bugger. 11 and a half range here. Let's flip to the 5-second chart up top. Let's see what the key range is. We're coming back now into the third, into 2/3. Let's see if we can touch 3/4 here. Seller at 2/3 on PII. So a bit of a range. We're putting in lower highs, Joey. Unless we can break through 12, there are lower highs in the 5-second chart. So here's 3/4. So locally, you're getting some higher highs here locally, but there's seller again at 3/4. Here comes 4/5. So we're going to have to pack the patience. Either it loses 11 or it breaks 12. In either case, I don't get out unless one breaks.
Okay, sounds good, man. Let's head over to our watch list and see what we got going on. A nice hold up here. We're going to be posted up at that 88 marker. It came up to 23.10, and I'm like, you dirty dog, you. Kind of just went out, it went without us. Now, let's head over to our watch list and see what we got going on. We went through the big names, big time breakout here in Microsoft. We like that ASML back up to $1,500, so not too bad. AMAT also pretty good earnings report. Strong move there, guys. But other than that, still a little bit off of those highs. That's okay. We're not worried about that. Regretty, I'm all the way over.
I love what you call it.
Regretty is the best one, man. And someone said it in the chat, have me dying. Yeah, Regretty. That is it. I think Coinbase.
There's 12, Joey. We're above 12 again. 1235, new area high. Failed 12 again, though, guys.
Okay.
But Joe, I mean, look, if you're going to accumulate between 11 and 12, then that's an accumulation zone. Take the risk. Take the risk for the accumulation break. What's the point? Here comes 12 and a half. That's another area high. 12 and a half now. But it keeps failing. Right back down to 11. So super volatile here. 12 and a half. But hey, it's putting in higher lows, and it's clearly cleared higher highs because it made a new area high. I want to see if we can hit 15 here, man. And I haven't quite seen the halt band yet, at least on the ask side. It just flashed momentarily there on the bid side. If it fails 11, I'm out. But this is one that you could realistically pick up at around 11. But the idea here is you got to be super strict. And that includes what type of stop you use, because if it loses 11, based on how many times it's touched it, it's probably going to flush aggressively, like 10 and a quarter. So if you're going to use a limit stop, that'll just get blown through. So you're going to have to figure out how to do that. Sometimes I use, it's basically just a limit with a wide range. You put in the trigger price, say, like 10 or 1080, and you say stop price, sorry, 1080, and then limit price all the way down, maybe even a 10. Rule though, by the way, there can't be a 3% or something like that, a 3% difference between those two ranges. That's what I was told, but I've done something like that before. Where it's actually worked. So what I was trying to say is, so you know how you can say stop price, say like 1098, limit price all the way down to say whatever?
Yeah.
There can't be a 3% variance between that stop price and that limit price for a limit stop.
Okay.
That was what I read one time. I haven't measured it every single time to see if that's actually accurate in practice, but I did read that. Seller at 12, guys. Here we go again. 12 and a quarter coming up. 1249 high. Let's see if we can take out the high. I'm looking for 13, Joey.
All right, good stuff. All right, so you can see we got another position on the board here that's going to be short Bitcoin at the break of this trend line, inverted hammer candle right at the volume weighted average price. And then we reloaded here on Fig at this trend line break right here. So dual trend line break, one to the downside, one to the long side. Let's see if we can get buyers start to step back in on this name, and we can have that all-day trender. Let's sell. I can't believe I'm saying this, but let's sell Bitcoin. I'm out at 44.96s. So, I mean, that's about 14 cents worth of risk. We're okay with that for the amount of size. We're not going to be giving too much away on today's session. If this really starts cooking up for us, then we're really rocking and rolling here, guys. So FIG off to the races. It goes a nice strong uptick. Bang, 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 bang. Let's go. Break 23.10s. And then sure enough, I think we can, so what I'm getting at here, thank you, Assassino. We'll get that to that momentarily. But if we fail to establish a high, that's fine, a new high. So that's a lower high. I can still peace out. Wow. You can see my average price got lifted drastically because I was in around 22.01, and then now we're around at 22.74. So I added to this one with my average being increased. All right. Hi, crypto family. Happy Friday. Yeah, happy Friday is right, but it's not a happy Friday for crypto land there, my friend. I apologize. Thank you very much for that. We're down 3% here in Bitcoin, and it's not looking too good. I'm going to pull up this short before we send it back over to Sharif so he can talk about what he's got going on. Let's go Fig, continue that bounce, but we're short. Is this the best entry possible? I don't think so, but what we do have on the 5-minute time frame is trend break, right? And an inverted at that level. I like this for a continuation. We're just forming a shelf. There's consistent higher lows, which we do have to be cautious about, but if we continue to hold the backside of this trend with that specific candle right there and we don't breach it, I like our chances for a little bit more of a downward momentum. Coinbase has been selling. I haven't looked at Robinhood here today, so other than that, short Bitcoin, there it goes, a nice move lower. We're about flat on this one right now. We're going to allow this to cook up for quite some time. We have plenty of risk. We're going to send it off to Adair right now. Neo has the same entry, 44.84, 2 pennies better than me on the short on Bitcoin. Let's go Bitcoin India. We'll hit the stone cold for that one. Your boy's got the stream deck back. I can't hit it too many times. You already know. So we'll go back to Fig to see if that's still cooking up for us. We're going to send it off to Adair.
I'm going to start here by talking about Getty. This is a penny stock. I checked the volume on this because you're never quite sure with names like this, but good volume. Over 2 million shares traded on the day so far for GETY. I want to clarify, this is pure speculation, but I guess people thinking there could be a 2.5 or I guess $2.50 buyout stance here. So again, $2.50 buyout here for the company, currently trading at 87 cents per share. Seems purely speculative, not seeing a lot of news to back that up. Also seeing potentially here Rocket Lab and LUNR and Watch. None of them are moving, but let's move over here to Bitcoin, which certainly is moving, as Joe mentioned here, sharply to the downside for BTC today. Now we're actually coming into this level of support that we've held pretty well on the daily for the last couple of days here, 78.8. It's also more or less the level that served as resistance going back to early February of 2026. So you look here at the weekly chart. Weekly is interesting here. We had a nice green week last week. We're, as of right now, poised to give up pretty much the entire move for this week. Now, in case you missed it for news, if you're wondering, hey, why is Bitcoin behaving in this way? We had a lot of excitement yesterday for Bitcoin, both in terms of these equities and actually in the space itself in the sector, as people thought we could have had, potentially speaking, like a full passing of the Clarity Act. Well, guys, we did get some update in the Clarity Act yesterday, as I mentioned a couple times now. They did the markup session. They've now cleared this bill, or this act, or whatever you want to call it here, from the Senate Banking Committee out and onward, but they still have to clear the Senate. They still have to clear the House before President Trump can sign the Clarity Act. So still some hurdles here, certainly for the Clarity Act and also for Bitcoin today and this week. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that, Adair. Guys, 1390, limit up. I am all done out at 1288, and it is continuing to go up with the high of the day, 1357. There does seem to be a range now. I want to say to the low end, about give or take 12 and a half to 12 and 3/4, and about 13 and a half. The higher, the lows are higher. The highs are higher on the 5-second chart. So locally here on the trend, very, very bullish. Look for 12 and a half to 12 and 3/4 hold. If it fails that on both the bid and the ask, we could have a bigger move back into 12 or 11 and a half. So continue to watch here, but it looks pretty good. Yeah, just defended again, that 12 and 3/4 area, 12 and a half area. Let's see if it can make a move back into the area highs. I just have to put this, what's today? May 15th, right? May 15th, 2026, almost at 25 there. And then what's the name of this? PII.NQ. All right, good. There we go. We can save that bad boy. Yeah, that's basically it. I also want to mention TRT here, testosterone replacement therapy. 1999 high. A couple of doji candles here on the 5-minute chart at the top. So I would look for a bigger move either into 19, which is not a big move, it's showing 1940, or possibly an even bigger one into 17, 18. Let's see if it can get through 20. It's not showing a good setup at the moment with 4 red candles in a row on the 5. It's not off the highs by all that much. TRT, it's not too bad. KC 526. I know she's printed up a storm because she's dropping memberships in the chat, as she typically does. KC 526, all class. Farm Trader, Zippy Zane, Pure Shoppy, no one here, and yeah, I know, right? Vadine, Mr. R. Jensen, Lord Brock 42, and Ethan Macomber 1452, as well as Heavy Trades, and Jess who? Sorry, it moved. 7352. Y'all got free memberships to our premium subscribers on YouTube. So thank you for KC 526 for doing that. Let me just show you guys, get the morning note. Now you guys are all eligible to get the morning note every day. Sadly, I didn't get to do it today because I have a medical appointment in the morning, but typically it is over here. Let's flip to the Trader TV account, Joey, because I'm not a premium member. So you go to posts, just right down there, and there's yesterday's in the morning. Click that bad boy, read more, kind of summarizes a little bit, and then you can just hit the Google Drives. And the cool thing is about the morning note is it's now just a third of. We just try to recap the story in a much more brief way, but the technicals are right there, and there's something for everybody. You got the intraday guys, off which we chart on the 15, and then you got the swing guys, weeks, months, days, whatever. We've got the 4-hour for that. It gives you the support and resistance levels, key on the 15 and the 4-hour. It gives you the structure on both the 15 and the 4-hour, and then it concludes with a bias about which way to look possibly on this one. And then below that is the trade plan. Now that we've articulated the technicals, how are we gonna get in? What's the methodology? Watch for this, momentum long on that, lose this level. And that's both for the intraday and the swing guys, and then below there is the catalyst watch, things specifically to look out for that could affect price, and then it basically concludes with the execution mindset, exactly kind of what to look for and how to think about the specific trade. So thank you, KC526, for that. And now everybody's name that I read out, you guys can try that in the morning.
You get to test it out, man. I'll tell you one thing right now. There's a lot of bad feelings, but there's one I'm gonna put up there in the rankings. Is when you add here, so you need something to go long. It's selling, and you're short something else, and it's buying up. So obviously being highly sarcastic with that one. IBIT not breaking down right now. The longer it takes, the less I like it, as Tesla's finding some form of a recovery, and we just can't seem to break this $23 marker. We talked about the open interest at that specific zone, and what I'm seeing on the 5-minute isn't looking overly promising. This looks like we might take an additional leg lower. So as soon as it hits my break even, then I have to get out. So essentially what I'm doing right now is just free rolling my unrealized gains from the initial long to add more shares for a potential continuation. So as soon as that hits break even, we're not going to take an additional loss on this trade, right? So use what you have unrealized, add the shares. It's going to drag your average up, but then you can just use that risk. It's essentially risk-free. As soon as it hits that level, then I'm just out of dodge on the position, right? So that would be right at 22.74. I'm out of there. Now, Bitcoin finally coming down to 44.80s. Let's go. Sell, 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 sell. Crazy swings in the account, though. It was a nice day for it. The long term, that's what I'm referring to. For quite some time, I didn't look at it, but other than that, head back to our scanner and see what we got going on from a top volume standpoint. 10 cents, and then we're stopped out of FIG, and then we focus on IBIT. So come on, rebound, you can do it. Enphase, I've seen a lot of people talking about here today. Wow, Enphase putting in...
It's been putting in some work. People have been saying that a lot in the chat.
Day, putting in a day, as you would say.
But go to the daily super quick on that. Is that the daily?
This is the daily.
Yeah,
I got 32% in 3 days there.
Ridiculous.
Another strong session here today, guys. So
Enphase, a highly coveted company. They have like some inverter or something like that converts the solar power into the battery. There's some sort of technology that they had that was proprietary. I remember looking into it a while back.
There it goes, like straight to the top. Let's talk about Ford. Remember Ford getting involved?
About this.
Ford getting with battery storage, energy storage. I believe that.
Was it Morgan or somebody that was commenting about that?
Yeah, something along those lines. We've seen strong uptick in this name, 1347. Sell session gives back the majority, all of it, and then some of yesterday's. But other than that, not too bad of a look on Ford. We were looking at the options chain actually on it yesterday, but we have a $2 super chat from the Beer Man. Hey, it's Friday, man. Don't go too crazy, though, everyone. It's Friday. What are feelings for a ceiling on Apple for today? Feelings for a ceiling on Apple.
I think it probably sells off back into 300. There's probably a lot of... Can you look at the options on that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Just because, like, think about... You always talk about the options market and where it's leaning to and, you know, where that could... take it, at least on a short-term basis.
Absolutely do that. Absolutely, man. That's a great idea.
Guys, we're ripping here on PIII, man. It is another high of day, 1435. Recall, we did the measured move on this one, the breakout level being in and around 5, and the high of the range was 10. So if you use the measured move, you're projecting another $5 for another bull flag. So there could be a bit of a range in and around 15. So 15 could be local resistance on that one, Joey.
Nice, man. Yeah.
What's the option say on the dead one, Apple?
Sorry. Got totally distracted there. 300. Okay, let's pull this up so everybody can see what we're looking at, man. Pull up. Come on, Fig, break up. So 300 at that $300 mark, we're now at 302. So these are in the money right now, Sharif, and that's where we're seeing a lot of size. So if we're going to absorb this by the end of the day, then we can sit on top. These are going to expire ITM, so that's not too bad of a look whatsoever. Watch the appreciation in these contracts. This is going to be insane. You're going to be like, what the hell, Leonte? Oh man, why did it do that?
They're saying.
Embarrassing is right. So watch this. So we'll go from the 9:30 open. So we're right here. Nope, that's here. That's right there. Bang, 9:35, 385%. In that specific contract from $62.
So that's the specific chart for the contract.
Yeah.
Oh my.
That's what I use.
So is that so? Would 0 DTE be? Would that be
from this morning. Yeah, that's from this morning. That expired today.
So hold on, question. So the 1.25% move on Apple
answered
resulted in a 380% move on a 0 DTE. Are you kidding me?
And I was talking about it this morning. I was like, in order to kind of achieve these returns, you need to be a front runner. So it's like hockey, it's like football. You go to where the price could be potentially. You can't obtain that in the money or at the money. They have to be far out of the money contracts. So at the time, Apple was trading south of $300. So whoever happened to purchase this out of the money contract at the lows gets the 385%.
I respect that. I get the mechanics of it. Halted down PIII. But what's the difference Other than a leverage perspective, just let me ask this question though. What's the difference than somebody punching in equities on the low and seeing a technical level there and only getting a 1.25? So I get you're saying it's completely out of the money contract, so I get that. So if it goes against you, it expires worthless, you lose your investment. I realize that.
Yeah.
But that seems like a really good risk to reward trade-off.
It's great risk to reward trade-off. That's why I said every day when we get options here, I will just buy out of the money SPY contract for $10. And if it gets 200-300%, then
what am I sitting here doing here? What am I sitting here doing this for?
It's honestly not that easy, though. If it was that easy, I would be doing it every day. Fig, it blew past our stop there to 266, so we take another 10 cents. We give a little bit back, but nothing substantial. Still green on the day. We're holding on to this IBIT trade, but we're all out of Fig. It was a nice trade for us. Didn't want to continue, and I was mentioning that not too long ago that it didn't look like it wanted to. So downside it goes. But yeah, man, that's the beauty of it, and we've been talking about it for quite some time. So this is what we could do. Like, let's play scenario right now. We'll get to that super chat in a second, but I want to play what if.
I see it, Bovin.
So this is what we could do. So we have NVDA's earnings report. If this thing decides to go absolutely parabolic on that day, we get closer to the report. We decide to buy this contract on the Wednesday, and we buy this 270 contract. If it continues to slide, the chance of it being worth $20-30 are relatively high. But then after the report, if it just skyrockets, you're at $20. So if it climbs to $200 or $2.00, $2 in options, that's 200% return.
That's
it's just that's what really attracts people
to this one
stuff,
quick
man.
here. Shout out to Clark O'Dial. Sharif, I'm on the plane. No way. To Cartagena, using their Wi-Fi, catching NVDS break upside. Have a great trip in Colombia. Thank you, brother. Mine is still a few months away, but I hope you have a fantastic time in Cartagena, man. I hear it's just beautiful from every angle you can talk about, whether it's a partying or like a colonial architecture and all that kind of stuff there. I hope you have a fantastic time. And get some good recommendations because I'll ask you for some stuff on the way back. Let me ask you, and you don't have to super chat again, but are you using Starlink or is it like Starlink?
Everybody's on the.
Yeah, everybody's on it, right?
Everybody's on the plane trading now.
Dude, and I kind of made the point very clearly a couple of times now. The Starlink on WestJet, which is branded for whatever reason as Telus. I'm assuming it has something to do with current geopolitics. It's fantastic.
Is it?
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
not
you're
going
up
to shut the hell up about that.
Man. Yeah.
The Beer Man, $1.99, $2.95 call Apple for $5.20, up 50%. Safe time play. Hope you print. Multiple storms on your side, and the cash just drips from the ceiling there. Thank you very much. Twisted Gamer, $5. What do you think about VRT? Say less. Bring in VRT. Going on, Fabian? Check out this. Sorry, Joey. It took me a minute.
Check it out, my guy.
Yeah, VRT. Let's start with a wider time frame. Let's always start as far back as the weekly. Just get a better understanding. What the hell is this?
Yeah, VRT, man.
What the hell is even that?
But like in a really good way, Assassino. I mean, I think I've done this before because the ticker is up there. So that's how I know I've looked at it. It's down 1.6 on the day. Yes, I've had this whole thing before. What's going on?
Every time that ding happens, I think Adair is trying to. You got to chill on that one. Yeah.
Vertiv. Yeah, okay, I did know that. Sorry. Provides mission-critical digital infrastructure, tech, lifestyle service, primarily for data centers, of course. Communication networks and commercial industrial environments. Company operates in 3 segments: the Americas, Asia Pacific, Middle East, Africa. The company offers includes AC and DC power management, thermal management, super important, obviously, in data centers, low, medium voltage switchgear, bus bar, air-cooled, liquid-cooled, etc. So it is got multiple parts of the AI stack. This is fantastic. Did I add this onto my, yeah, this is really good, though, Assassino, like in a really, actually, like it's really good. It's also up 128% year to date. So I very much like it, but when you do get this kind of move, you're always subject to a possible retracement. So you have to make a plan should that occur. And so you have to say to yourself, you know, am I in this, first of all, for the long run? Am I swinging? That's, you know, question number one. Number two, what are the key levels that I like this at, given the technicals? And right away, you're usually looking at the $100 area, especially on a stock like this. 300 looks pretty good. So does 275, because there was a lot of topping tail candles through to 275. 300 is always psychological support and resistance. Other areas, maybe, you know, you probably don't want to hear this, but obviously 200, there's also resistance there. So, you know, this is fantastic. And a lot of, look, I know we were up huge on the semis and in the AI trade in general, but people are still saying that the guidance that these companies are giving is actually to the low end of the range. That, you know, in reality, once these quarters come, the actual realized revenue will be a little bit higher. Whether you believe that or not, that has to form your own bias. But that's what some people are saying. They're saying this AI trade, yes, it is very aggressive, but you know, that there's possibly more upside. So I do like VRT very much. It's a very much an in-play area. The technicals are fantastic. This is the weekly chart, by the way. That's why it's so green everywhere. Nary a red week. The last week, red week you had was the March 16th. And then one before that was January 5th. What's going on over there, Joe?
We got that flush city in the overall market here, Sharif. Sorry to interrupt you there, my boy.
Brother.
There it goes, IBIT breaking through that support level. That's what we needed right there, my guy. Bang, 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 pew, pew. Wendy's tendies, get out of bed, brother. Like, it's noon, man. What are you even doing? Here it is, 3%. Let's see if this move can be sustained and head towards the low of the day. We're all at a fig. I talked about that there for sure, but I agree with you on that, Sharif. I mean, I don't think that we're correctly pricing all of this AI trade in. I mean, we could be on the wrong side of things. I don't think that's necessarily the case. These individuals are too smart. And I talked about the scenario when they stop spending all the money and what we see on the back side of that when they start bringing all this cash, high margins with the software products that they have, whether it be Gemini, NVDA still selling its physical product. Yep. If it's going to hurt a name, it may be that one, but I don't think that's necessarily going to be the case, to be honest.
Yeah, and you know, the software names have a bit of a different headwind, Joey. Yeah. It's not, you know, vibe coding, and institutions can basically code their own way by buying tokens. Yeah, exactly. Essentially, right?
Well, the generation of tokens. Yeah, but purchasing is still going to cost, right?
It's going to cost.
You're still going to have
no question about
it.
But mine tokens. You're like, actually, the price per token relative to the output is down big time.
Yeah.
But you're paying more.
And that's why a lot of people like Cerebras. That's why it's Cerebras.
Yeah.
Right? And then that's obviously why NVIDIA acquired Grok. It's the inference play. So you're on to that next phase almost from the training to just strictly the token generation.
Absolutely. And, you know, we talk a lot about custom ASICs, but the much maligned, at least recently maligned CPU, all of a sudden is back in vogue because inference requires more CPU compute than it did before when you were doing training models. So all of a sudden you've got AMD up, I don't know, 100% year to date. Intel's up 200% year to date, give or take. Right, so the CPU's back in vogue, I guess.
Long time since we.
Sorry, guys, I haven't put on a trade. I'm not liking anything at the moment. Let's bring in some stuff. What's going on?
I don't know. Someone asked us what these were about, and
those were RAM.
Those were RAM. Everything is
the
RAM.
trading turtle.
If anything is the realist over here, it's this. It's the Black Panther.
Black Panther. Is that supposed to go in a car?
No, Christmas tree.
Oh, that's like, that's actually
it's
sick,
Christmas tree or the Obi. You got one too. You got the Hulk.
I got the Hulk. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is.
Oh man. Come on, man.
I know. I suck. I know, Casasino. What can I do, baby? BuzzFeed is moving as well on the day, not up big. Bovin saying tops. Tops is recovering a little bit over here, $1.78 high, breaking through the half. But I think this is your better call, Bovin. GETY, Getty. The volume is dropping off a little bit, coming back in about 85. I'm not liking these lower highs. There's also some support here at 87 if that gives way. You're looking possibly at 85 to about 83, depending on the 10 EMA or the volume weighted average price. So Getty showing some support at around 87, but I'm not a big fan. Moreover, I think PIII over here. I don't want to say the best trade is behind it. Clearly, there's a buyer at 12, and this one has been very kind of respectful of general areas of support and resistance. Case in point. Look at this range over here that we put in. We're basically about 8.5 to about 10, right? We held that for a while. Now we're kind of doing the same thing here with 12 to about 14. So you got about a $2 range. I still have a bias. We probably touch 15. Maybe we clear it a little bit. Let's see if the buyers step in. Up 204%, much closer to the highs than to the lows. But here we go. We're getting a deeper retracement now through the 20 and bouncing off 18 here on testosterone replacement therapy. We are looking for this kind of candle, right? A reversal candle. And now what we need to see is whether the subsequent candle makes a new high on a closing basis. We could have an aggressive pop back into 20. That's a dollar and a quarter, really depending on where you get in. And 20 can get breached. So TRT, watch out. Use area support as you're out. You don't fall in love with it either. And then this is not a good look here on PIII. This is very much towards the low end of the range with lower highs, and it looks like 12 is barely holding on. We're losing 12, Joey, down into 11.5. This is turning into an ugly candle. Is it going to halt down? 11 1/3. We are going to halt down here on PIII into 11. Let's see if this actually halts. A few more seconds here, and we are halted. There we go. So 11:49.54 halt time. Earliest open 11:54.54. Tap showing 10:55, almost a dollar lower than we're looking right now. So be on the lookout here. PIII, but it does have some support here because this is the breakout area. Recall, this was the halt at 11:10, and then it opened at 11:11. It opened at 11:21, ripped up to 13. So 11 is a key area of support. Watch out for a hold of 11. Let's see if it holds up here, Joe.
All right, good stuff, man. Hangry Wife, I keep mentioning, and congratulations to you. Thank you for the courage to take a trade today, Sir Sharif. It's still scary. I don't even know what that means, man. Sharif been trading all day. I don't know what you're talking about. It's Friday.
What happened?
Yeah, you don't always. I don't know. Courage. We've been trading all day. This guy trades way more than I do at times. Alan, what's going on? Santis Bayesian, going well. Congratulations on that one. Bitcoin can't do anything right, man. It goes up, it goes down. It's just a horrible thing to trade at times. It's so frustrating. Like breakdown, you get a couple of pennies, no continuation whatsoever within that name. What do I think about EVC? We'll get to that in a moment. Hangry Whiff, I keep mentioning it, but look into an indicator on TradingView called CBD-OSC. It's an oscillator. Set it at $34 to 100. It shows you buying and selling pressure, and it's screaming fig short from the top without stopping. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's stopping, but don't forget, Hangry, I'll take a look at it, but everything is derived from price, right? It doesn't matter. Every indicator, so something within price can probably tell you the same thing. But yeah, thank you. I will take a look at that one. Now, what do you think about EVC, a speculative play? Yeah, let's pull it up here. I mean, isn't everything kind of that? But anyways. Intravision communication. I like that one. Has a little bit of a ring to it. A nice pop up here from 366 to $9, 156%. I just don't know enough about the company. Be prepared for a pullback. Offers a dividend, though. That's all that really matters to me these days. 5 cents. Let's see.
This guy.
I'm joking.
It's Warren Buffett all of a sudden. I like it though, man. You're thinking long term.
Yeah, exactly. No, other than that, it doesn't look horrible, to be honest with you. Thank you very much for that. Sharif and I don't talk about it that often. We can take a look into actually what it does, the overview, EVC, just to give you a little bit more of a look. Okay, Communication Corporation is a media and advertising tech company. The company maintains and diversified portfolio of television and radio stations. Okay, so television, radio, linear TV, kind of on the lower end of things right now, not in vogue with the streaming giants, but other than that, guys, is it that time? No, I didn't get the green light to go. It's still only 11:52. Beautiful day in the city of Toronto. Too much coffee for me? Yeah, I'm accelerating. Yeah. I know. Hey, man,
I've been noticing that. We've been calling him out, man.
I've been. I took a break yesterday. It was a disastrous day on Wednesday. But we're cool here today. But other than that, Bitcoin not breaking down, Fig not doing what we wanted to do. No indecision prints off the lows in order for us to re-engage. And the market is pretty choppy here today, guys. Look at it. We break through VWAP and then sideways for quite some time, a lot of overlapping candles, and now we head right back towards the low of the day. I'm glad that we haven't taken any positions here on the NASDAQ.
My man. All right. Here's what I'm looking at, baby. PIII, we're still looking for an open here. It's showing an open a lot closer to 11. So that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see it hold generally 11 because that's the area support that we've been basically above since 20 after 11. A lot of 11s in this analysis. But I want to bring your attention to a new name here, MRNO. It has a bit of a bull flag forming, breakout level in and around 42 to 44. Resistance, 54 to 60. Sorry, range, pardon me, 54 to 60. It has breached 54, but there's a buyer stepping in and around 54. If it loses 54, I'm thinking 50. 50's featured a lot more. Bottom chart here, guys, as an area resistance. But locally, there was a buyer at 54. It looks like they are giving way, and this is heading down to 50. So MRNO's up nicely, about 81%, give or take. It's done a lot of volume on the day, about 103 million shares. So you'll have ample liquidity, get in and get out without too much of a problem. Play the range. If it establishes, pardon me, if it reestablishes, I should say, the range, 54 to 60, you hold for a breakout of 60. If it loses 54, immediately you're looking at 50, and PIII is open, and it is generally holding 11. Let's see if it holds up at 11 here. Its prior bar high is 1132. We're showing about 39 now, so we have breached. Let's see if we can kind of get up a little bit more. I just don't want to get in. I want to get in a little closer to 11. Let's see if we can hold up generally at that level, and then a failure of about 10 3/4. Yeah, would probably push me out of the trade. I'm willing to risk about 25 on this. Good buyer stepping in at the third, pushing us up to 40 now. It does look like the buyers could be stepping in. There's a selling, though, at the $0.50. Here we are at the $0.50, Joey, with a good amount of sellers, and it rips up into 60s there, 70s. I missed that one. Should have got in about the $0.50. It's going here. Let's look for a breach of 12. We still have lower highs, right? So the range is established. That 11 buyer did backstop us for now. But, you know, we still have a plethora, not a plethora, but, you know, we have a couple of lower highs here, 14 to third and essentially 13 1/4 area highs that we are below currently. Texas Jet Fan, YSS is a space stock that IPO'd this year, found support, looking for a swing. What are your thoughts? Let's bring in the side chart. We'll put it beside your friend here, PIII. Let's see what YSS looks like here weekly. Okay, a bit of a range here. Looks like generally you're getting some support in the low 20s, a lot of resistance in the mid to high 30s. There goes PIII through 12, still lower highs. If it breaches 13.5, the breakout is on, I think, because that is the prior area high. So this is YSS. Let's go over here, throw this on. And so that's the weekly. Let's flip to the daily now. Let's get a better look at local area resistance and support. You're probably going to find support here at around 23 to 25, just get based upon that area. Okay, but you're on a bit of a downtrend here. YSS, York Space Systems, formerly Yellowstone, Midco Holdings, Space and Defense. Prime providing comprehensive suite of mission critical solutions for national security, government, and commercial customers. Provide the United States Defense, DoD, their proliferated warfighter space architecture. That's a segment. Company has demonstrated Link 16 connectivity from space. There's a lot of good in this $3 billion market cap. I got to start a space watch list here because there's going to be a lot of space names, I think, soon. So ISS doesn't look great from the technical sense, but if you're looking to buy around 20, I'd be game with that. You know, build your position in the lower 20s. And then, you know, you're looking for 40s. Otherwise, if you're investing, then, you know, this is going to be a hold. And I don't know if you care about the technicals, but you are asking me about the technicals. Pick it up around 20. You're pretty close to that range. We're going to pause for a second. I see a bunch of other tags, but we got to go to Adair. She's got news.
Yeah, I'm seeing some people mention here mRNA and NVAX online. Now, this could be in relation to the fact I'm just seeing a report that 3 senior officials at the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases have been given a choice to either accept reassignment outside the institute or resign. So again, unclear exactly how that's going to be impacting the vaccine space, because that's of course what both Novavax and Moderna are mostly known for. Regardless, both these stocks popping again as we get reports suggesting that 3 senior officials at the U.S. National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases have been told either to resign or accept being reassigned to another unit. Back to you.
Thank you very much for that.
You got anything there?
I was just looking at HCWB moving up. Yeah, I was trying to tag you, Bovin, because I wanted to tell you about MRNO. Didn't let me tag you for some reason. Shout out to Jay Lee. Fun fact, TDIC is now $1. I saw that this morning on my counter scanner, Jay. In case any brave people got shorts at $24 just a couple of days ago, wish my broker had them. Yeah, you know, I suffer from the same affliction, Jay, in that, you know, these highly volatile intraday names, lovingly known as the small cap gappers, of course, they are typically hard to borrow on Joseph and I's platform, and that's just part of the nature of the beast. They have a bit of a different setup down south, though.
With?
Like with IB, with the short situation than we have here.
You can order it yourself?
Yeah, you can actually place orders ahead of time. You can do that here, but the position has to be over $10,000 for the short. And I've never done anything like that. Notional, yes.
That's not that much.
Well, I've never taken a short that worth that much ever.
But I mean, if you would think it'd be a little bit more, maybe.
I can show you how to do it too. It's like you can do it on the scanner. So you would go to, it's here somewhere. If you give me a second, I can find it. It's just like locates, fundamentals, what if, financial.
I think I've seen.
There's a way to do it, but if you just give me a minute. Trade, there we go. Pre-borrow shares for shorting. See that?
Oh, okay.
And then it loads up.
And then it loads up there.
Okay, SBL definition, but the thing is, should be behind it. There it is. So, on this thing, you type it in. Let's just go and let's see what HCWB has to offer. Type in. But you see, it doesn't let me do it because it's SIM. This is SIM. That's why. I don't know. I can try it on my live.
I find the locate thing kind of silly. Like you have to pay, even though they're already like it's like you guys know where they are. Like
no, you gotta pay, my guy. That's where they make money on it, man.
Yeah, obviously. But anyway, let me touch on something here quick, Sharif. As Bitcoin is not doing too much, it's not breaking down right now, and I've seen a couple of Hangry Wife being one of them, and then also another individual is talking about a potential re-engagement here on Fig. Our reload and our free roll didn't work for us. Our first initial 2 trades did, but it is starting to bounce right now, so that's not too bad of a look. Consistent higher lows, I think that's a positive note, but we're just waiting for Bitcoin to snap this shelf and head a little bit lower to 1043. If the momentum really picks up, bang, there goes the 2 individuals who called that. No, I don't got anything. I don't have anything, I guess I should say. But anyways, aside from that, good call out on Fig for a rebound there. I thought the momentum would have been a little bit too much in order for me to re-engage on this position, but it bounces off of some key levels. Look at the support that it was holding up on, and then off to the races it goes. So hopefully to the people, Hangry Wife being one of them, who were talking about that, decided to take that trade. We're still sitting in this IBIT, and we're not getting the breakdown that we're looking for. The longer that it takes, the less that I like it. When trades I'm sitting in, they don't work out relatively quick, then the chances of them minute by minute, I think the probability slowly starts to cool down, and we don't want that. Let's pull up our portfolio here quick, because CrowdStrike put in a new all-time high here today. It tapped into $194, I believe, or 190 plus, so not too bad of a look on CrowdStrike. Obi, Sean, Randy, Joey right there. Ramin sitting in that 5th spot. But guys, we're going to send it off to Adair with Happening Now, and then Neil with his lesson of the day.
Got it, Neil.
Here's the S&P 500, guys. Super choppy today, especially compared to really directional performances you can see over the last few days for this market. NASDAQ looking pretty similar. Lots of headlines, of course, still both from oil and then also from the China trip with President Trump and a whole delegation of CEOs meeting up with President Xi of China. We also had some comments here coming earlier today from U.S. Energy Secretary Chris Wright, saying the U.S. could easily double its natural gas exports without impacting domestic prices at all, and also saying that any oil that's been taken from the strategic reserve will be very easy to replenish. Microsoft and watch here, this is just to look at their most recent quarter, but we had Bill Ackman today announcing that he and Pershing Square actually got involved in this. It's a very lengthy post on X that he released at 4:40 in the morning today, and he basically just said that, you know, Microsoft is being underestimated right now. There's a lot of people who are scared of volatility. They're selling it off. Microsoft still fundamentally strong, so that's become a core position, quote unquote, for both Pershing Square and also the PSUS, of course, the tradable version of this from Bill Ackman and co. Figma also reported earnings. As you guys can see here, we've had sequential growth just throughout across all of these key metrics for Figma. This is its fourth quarter that it's reported as a public company. We had a double beat, and we also had guidance increases here and better than expected guidance for Figma across the board. Gemini also had a solid quarter. They reported after the bell last night as well, along with UAMY, AMAT, and Rumble. But you know who's ready to rumble right now? Neil. Neil, what's today's lesson of the day? Because we all want to hear it.
Rumble, young man, rumble. Well, someone in the chat actually gave I'll try to answer a request because someone was saying, use a lesson to talk about how stocks react different times of the day. So I'll do my best with that without too many examples for the afternoon, but I'll be able to, sort of go back to what happened for some stocks in the afternoon yesterday and be able to talk about it a little bit. So I think when you think about the times of day, there's two ways you could look at it, right? Like the types of setups that you're going to try to get into, which that's a little bit individual. So it'll be difficult for me to get too much into that where it's going to apply to everybody. However, what you can consider, at least what I think is the most important part in different times of the day, how the market's reacting, is the opportunity. And the most obvious part of that is opening trades have implicitly more potential than midday and close trades. The reason for that is if a stock moves, I'm going to use Cerebras as an example because I was in one that I was just holding for a huge move. You have all day long for it to go. So the expected range on a stock is 5%. You get in, you have all day long for it to potentially go the regular or average expected range. Halfway through the day, like maybe it's already trending, you catch it, there's a little bit less room for it to go. Like that sort of should be obvious. Now the way in which you can approach that, at least the way that I do, is even if I'm making a similar trade. Now, if you know what my thesis was this morning on Cerebras, this thing opened at 350 yesterday. The top end of the range was $35 higher. It bounced off of the 300 area, 300 clean. That's a huge range of opportunity. If it had a $50 range to the downside, ridiculous, right? Like it actually ended up bouncing off 275. Now, my notion was underneath there, it's a short. At the open, missed, doesn't matter. The second opportunity was to short back in to give it to the opening range high, which is effectively the 300 level. Now, early on, every single time I'm getting in here, I'm actually thinking $10. And that's just to get a piece out. And I'm thinking low of the day for the next piece and then hold for the dream for the rest. Like I'm thinking wide range. And then I told you guys, if I got wicked out, I would jump back into it. I got wicked out, so stopped out, took the morning loss on it, and got right back in when I got wicked out. However, in this particular case, you're now halfway through the day. I'm halfway through the day. The market isn't trending down, so I don't really have the market going with me. The market's now in this slightly upward trend. This has done a wipeout bottom with a higher low. So as it comes back in, I can still extend it. I mean, the VWAP's the thing I'll use for like stocks that don't move as much. But in this particular case, I'm still trying to hold for the bigger move. But the difference here is later on in the session, when it sticks a higher low in with the market, I'm not going to have as big expectations for it in the morning. There are often times that I might just, take my $8 to $10 here, and if it gets into VWAP, I'm still giving it the break even and reloading and holding for $20, $30, $40 to the downside. That's for the open, where I figure I have all day for it to work. But as you get into the mid part of the day, I'm like, it's still a wider range. It's still a $300 stock. I'm still looking $5, $10 winners because that's just, you don't see me going crazy. Oh no, $5 win, $10 win. The stock's $300, man. Like moving $5 ain't ish. Like IBIT is a $40 stock. Like how much does it have to move to be the equivalent of $5 on this, right? So I get it, but you don't see me go crazy ho-hum about that because it's all relative. No, but in all seriousness, I just realized that it's going to be a bit more of a scalp trade. And in this context, getting a 10 or $5 or $6 move is going to be the scalp trade here instead of thinking about the 20 and accepting that. And I could still be in this short. Right, it fits my parameters, but I get into the get it all out mode and be willing to reload as opposed to you saw me in the morning. I'm in, it doesn't run the top, and I'm just sitting back the whole morning just sitting in it waiting for it to flush. So I think that's the difference for myself, and it's not going to be the same for everybody. But for me, that's how I try to change things over. Now, there's some strategies with which, if it's just a stock that I'm trading every single day in defined ranges, then I don't switch too much around. But if it's an earnings name, if it's, in this case, an IPO day 2, or something that's tremendously in play, a small cap gap or something really that has a chance to move, in the morning, yeah, you're willing to put your foot in the ground and just allow it to go. In the midday, I'm likely to be in a little bit of scalp mode and not want to fight what looks like is now an established trend. Had this been a downward trend and I was doing a re-entry, then it would be easier to not scalp it out and hold it a little bit longer. And then when you're talking about the end of the day, it's more of an extreme whenever you're talking about the end of the day, because everything condenses at the end of the day. It's for a day trader, if you're swing trading, it's completely different. But if you're a day trader, that end of the day, you have a time constraint. Like every single trade, not only am I willing to get things out much faster at the end of the day, I'm also tightening stops up as time goes along, because you have a shot clock on you in the final hour of the day, the final 30 minutes of the day. So I might be willing to give something 20 cents to make 50 to 60, but then it doesn't move for 15 minutes, and you'll hear me say I've moved my stop and tighten it by half, because half my time for this to work is now gone. And that's a unique situation for a day trader. It's another reason why, I'll be real, over trading in the afternoon is trash, because you don't have as much time to get a big winner. But you know what? It can run your full stop, no problem. So if you take your regular size for your regular stops and all that stuff in the afternoon, you have less upside oftentimes in terms of how much you can win, but you're still going to lose as much as you're going to lose. So that's why tightening things up can make a little bit of sense. I hope that helps a little bit here when talking about the different types of day. It's really just more about establishing your risk parameters and your expectations on the move. Because, stubborn's not even the right word. It was just, I wanted this to be 10, 15, 20, $30 winners on CBRS in the morning, and I was willing to hold for such. Middle of the day, not so much. I'm thinking a little bit more condensed. And if I traded in the afternoon, I'd probably go into serious scalp mode as expected. This is where I usually jump in, tell you guys how lunch is. I've had half of it. The flavor is much better than yesterday. So yesterday we had the chicken was dry, but the flavor was fantastic. Was good. Oh, well, actually not good. The flavor was not great, but the chicken was dry, even though it was drenched in sauce. Today, the chicken's still a little dry, but the flavor is great. And it's got the nice little rice. You got the bok choy, and you can't see. A little bok choy action in there, so that's pretty solid. I don't know how I would grade it. It's too mixed, because the chicken isn't like the best. So I had to give it like a 7. But yesterday I didn't give a grade, and that was a 5. That was a straight 5 yesterday. Yeah. I don't give 2s and 1s. Like 5's bad. Back to the midday, boys. Enjoy yourselves. Please market. Don't be a 2% down day. That's no fun.
Yeah, guys, I want to talk about SoFi here. SoFi, as you can see on the screen, this company was on watch and did pull back a little bit here, along with, to a lesser extent, NRDS, after OpenAI announced a new feature in ChatGPT. This feature is called Finances. It's going to be available on both web and iOS, and it lets users view things like spending, their bills, their subscriptions, even their net worth, all in one place. But furthermore, you can actually ask ChatGPT questions about your spending. Hey, can I get a spending overview? Can I get an overview of my finances, etc.? It can actually help you track your budgets, plan things going forward. So this feature here, again, Finances is the name from ChatGPT, being viewed, at least right now, as competition for SoFi. Back to you.
Yeah, well, I do typically agree with you, Deep Cheeks AI, that that OpenAI is past its prime. I won't use the words you used. I have to give the nod, chapeau a little bit here, to OpenAI's new app for Apple CarPlay. It is quite intuitive. Anybody who likes to have a voice dialogue with Siri rather than typing, especially in the car, that was a problem before, because you actually had to fumble with the phone, and that subjects you, of course, to getting slapped with a distracted driving ticket. Who needs that garbage, by the way? You get like 3 or 4 demerit points in this province if you're caught with that. So all of a sudden, it's available touch screen. and it's quite good. It's fast, it uses the car's system, integrates seamlessly with Apple CarPlay. So I do like it. Apparently, OpenAI's lawsuit against Apple is the fact that they didn't get enough commercial exposure on Apple's, what do we call this? Network, or you know what I'm trying to say, ecosystem, then they had agreed to, hence the breach of contract or the failure to fulfill a contractual obligation lawsuit that we've been hearing is rumored. But, you know, having said that, I felt that the Apple CarPlay app was quite good. Did anybody else use their new CarPlay app? I'd love to hear your feedback. Demerit points, WebCoin basically just means that you get dinged. So I think, what do we got, 12? 12 demerit points that you can accumulate before your license gets suspended.
I was going to say, I don't anymore.
This guy. But anyway, I think, so anytime you screw up, the level of your screw up warrants a certain number of demerit, just as the word indicates, demerit points. So you get dinged with that. But some call points. Yeah, no, you're right. Alan, you're absolutely right. Points, people say points, whatever. SKK is ripping up, so I got to shout out to the OG Bubin because he did call this out. I was not very impressed with it when I looked at it because it looked awfully double toppy, but there it goes. It is ripping through that double top at 480. It is now at 5.25. Good look here for SKK. As you guys can see, though, I'm holding a position here at 577 on MRNO. So this one, we caught a great rip into the high of the day. I've got 62 and change on. It's a 63.40 high from what I can see. But it's having a little bit of support. It's encountering some support here in and around 58, which had been a prior area. You can see like all the rejections here around 58 pennies. So what I'm looking for next is 63. We're still holding. I stop out below 57. It says 57 on the board, but in fact have a better price than that. It's 56 and change. So it says 57 on the board because it rounds up. But I'm looking for a bigger move here on MRNO, Joey, to try to take out the high of the day at 63.40.
All right, good stuff. Yeah, Jesse, man, I got 10 for now. That'll probably get decreased in a couple of months. But dude, I'm not even gonna get into that stuff, man. I haven't had tickets since I was in my early 20s. I've gone like 7-8 years without catching a ticket or anything along those lines, and then I catch a ticket a year apart. Anyways, I don't want to get into it because there's so much better things that the city could be doing than dinging me for absolutely essentially nothing. Yeah, don't get me going on that. You got something there?
No, it's breaking out, Joey, but it's not ripping or anything.
What I got going on here is that Bitcoin's not doing anything, so I got to be cautious because we do have a flat top up here, 44.89, right? So let's continue to monitor this, but if we don't get a breakdown of that support, we have to be prepared to get out of this trade. And if the volume and momentum really starts to pick up, I'm not going to be scared or shy away from which direction it does. So I like that we're really starting to compress in price, and then now it's just a matter of time of waiting and being patient to find which direction we're going to head. So there's the plan on Bitcoin. Fig heading right back in towards the volume weighted average price. Not too bad of a look. And as Adair mentioned, and we talked about earlier in the day, is that the NASDAQ and the SPY have not been the prettiest of trading, considering we had Apple running into a new all-time high today. So the only one out of the Mag 7 hitting all-time highs. And then we also had Microsoft climbing higher, but not participating, the market not participating in that move. So a little fishy there. Let's see if Bitcoin's going to break down. I have no issues with adding into momentum, but there's a couple of things that we need to see is volume.
There goes MRNO into another high of day, essentially 65, 64.95. This one's, it's ripping, okay? Let's see now, can it get into that $0.75 area? I don't think that this is, beyond the realm of possibility here, given that this one has been quite respectful of the stair-step trend. Let's take a bit of a wider look here at the 5-minute chart, pardon me, on MRNO. There's a lot I like about this. There's a 60 penny level, a very obvious area of resistance, whether you were looking in the aftermarket yesterday at around 510. The pre-market this morning, both at around 415 and 450, all of which failed 60 pennies. You had another failure here just moments ago at 10 to 12. It popped into 61.20, dropped all the way back, lost 10 pennies on this name. It is ripping up here, Joey, into 66 pennies. Let's see if we can wet the beak. Missed that one. Looking for another move there, 66. Good look here. It's a new high of day of 68 and change, but the rippage is on right now on MRNO. So anyway, what I want to say was I like the fact that it's cleared 60 pennies. Let's see if it can use 60 since it was such a staunchy area of resistance. Let's see if it can now act as a good support level. So this one has a propensity, as you can see from the aftermarket action yesterday, the very early pre-market action this morning, or just like about 20 minutes ago, it has a tendency to retrace aggressively, after making area highs. That has to feature in your risk analysis. It has to feature in your decision making of whether or not this is the right one for you. But my bias currently is we're on the way to $0.75. If we get there, you know what my bias is going to be next, which is we're on the way to the dollar. Let's get there first before we start, making any other decisions, but we have to have a plan. So get into that $0.75. What's your move? Are you getting in on a breakout, or are you looking for a retracement back into 2/3, perhaps even deeper? This one's already shown you that it can drop 10 pennies on a 60 penny name in like 1 5-minute candle. So that has to also feature in your decision making about what your plan is going to be going forward at $0.75. So that's what I'm looking for right now. Bovin is talking about SKK as well as he should be, because it's ripping into new area highs as well, 5.5%. Bovin, what's this one up, brother? Because I don't even have it up on here. This one's up 58%, man. This looks good. A great rounded bottom. It lacked a little bit of volume earlier on, but that issue has since been alleviated, cured, whatever. Now we're getting about 150,000 shares per 5-minute candle. It's not the best. It's done 4.25, almost 4.33 million shares on the day, but the chart pattern is quite good. So we're going to continue to watch this one, Joe.
All right, good stuff, man. Tesla continuing to bleed here, guys. Glad that we took that one attempt for the long in the recovery, but it just never found one. Channeled down here in TSLA. Also, same narrative in the SPY and the NASDAQ. This is pretty ugly trading, if you ask me. It's really tough. And then we have this ascending wedge still forming here in IBIT. Maybe we find some form of a recovery, and we're going to be prepared to take advantage of that in either direction that it decides to go. Now, we have FIG up here, and we can take a look at some of the other names like NVDA and see where it is. $10 off of its all-time high. That's something that I want to keep an eye on personally. Why? Because I'm going to be buying and buying and buying leading into the earnings report. We're going to do the exact same strategy we were talking about, buying out of the money calls. Yeah, I mean, if you only have to risk like 20, 30 bucks, who cares? You buy those out of the money calls, and if they 5x, then congratulations, you've hit that level. You hit those things. There goes Bitcoin, really starting to pick up some steam and momentum. Now into 44.90. We're 8 cents OTM on that one. Small potatoes, but we're not going to hold on to this just in case this wedge wants to go. And it looks like if we punch through the volume weighted average price, something coming on in the crypto space, we're going to send things over to Adair. Maybe this has something to do with it. We get any form of a pullback, this volume supporting it, starting to uptick on the lower time frame, and then we're going to start to participate. CrowdStrike up to 587. Let's send it off to Adair.
Yeah, this has nothing really to do with tech or crypto or anything, but I am seeing reports that Estee Lauder, apparently some of these final bids are coming in for their Smashbox, Too Faced, and Dr. Jart brands. If I get any more details, I'll let you know, but EL did get a slight spike a couple minutes ago. Back to you.
It's pretty. It's so pretty.
I love this. Go, MRNO, go. We're waiting. You know where we're waiting now.
Where?
69er, Joseph, 67.25 showing up, looking for the move into 68. Let's continue to watch. There it is into 68.5. Just give me the 69 print. Come on.
Come on, man.
We're not going to pull out note here. Maybe we won't get it. But there it is, 68 again. Joey, there is the... And there it is. Bang. Boom. Into 69. 69.09. High a day. We're in at 57s. MRNO is ripping up 135%, 145 million shares traded. We are now on the way to $0.75. Let's watch what this one has to offer us. If we really do hold up well at 3/4, then I think it's completely justified to have a bias into the dollar, okay? 69.51, so let's not even sing the praise of the $3/4 level yet. It hasn't shown up, but we're going to continue to watch here. I see some support for whatever reason at a random area, 62 1/3, 62 1/2 pennies. Let's see if that area comes in here, but what a rip up MRNO is. Get it, crypto banks. MRNO is the one for me today. Nailed the bottom and been buying on the way up. That is what a sound trader does. Good for you there, crypto banks. Hope you print up multiple storms. Bovin wants me to get into SKK. So we're going to, Bovin requests he gets, bro. Bovin's the OG.
What do you ask for?
He wants me to get into SKK over here.
To get into it?
Yeah, Bovin, this one's a little spready, brother. What do we got? We got a 16 penny, 9 penny spread. Who does this think it is? SKK over here. Yeah, there we go. A little, okay, so what's the dip area? Bovin, there's a buy area here between 5 and 475. That's the way I see it on SKK. Buy area in and around 5 to 475. 5 getting defended right now. Let's observe. See what we get here with 5. The buyers are stepping in and the spread is tightening up. Here's 498 dropping below the 5 now on the bid, but that's completely normal. Keep your eye on a double drop with the ask and the bid dropping below key level. And then notice the spread on the drop, also equally as important, giving you an indication of liquidity. $5 area getting defended again here. Good amount of volume coming in recently on this one, Bovin. I mean, it's not the best volume play on the day, but 3 2/3 million shares, with the majority of it coming in locally here. So good look. Continuing to watch, though, MRNO, a bit of a rejection there off 70 pennies, and it's coming back down into about 66 to 65. So I recall a buy area for me on this one is about 62 1/2 to 63. Let's see if we get that.
Good stuff, man. Let's head over to the ascending wedge we were talking about not too long ago in Bitcoin, IBIT via, and you can see just consistent higher lows. We were looking for that curl over and that breakdown, but what we are starting to see right now is an uptick in volume on the lower time frame. Now, if this is sustained and continued, then I think we can find a potential long here and a recovery here on IBIT. So that's what it looks like it wants to do. Price compress for quite some time, but do I want to be buying this breakout without the volume really starting to step in? Absolutely not. And you can see on the 1 minute a stair step down, not something that we want to see. So we need to see a strong uptick in order for us to be buying the top end of the range. We can risk to the lower end, which I believe is where the thesis is proved invalid. So let's be patient for that one. I don't want to be trading this one too much. We took a loss on IBIT and our free roll on Fig didn't work. And then we took a loss on Tesla. So it's Friday. We don't want to give back our whole day. So we need to be extremely precise on our entries and patient. We had the couple that worked out for us. Now there's no need to get overly greedy unless the setup displays itself. It's unfortunate that Tesla really breaking down, and I said this on multiple occasions that CrowdStrike has been him today, and I'm happy on the CrowdStrike. Yeah, it's climbing higher there, Sharif.
There's 3/4. There's 3/4.
Can't catch them all, my boy. But you got a nice move on it anyway. So.
I made the wrong assessment. That support was at 62 1/2. Support was at 65. I should have been more alive to the support at the 60 on the 1 minute chart, pardon me. But on the 5, it was yelling 62 1/2.
What was it? Oh, it was yelling 60.
It was yelling. Okay. I had to listen to it.
I just want to talk about CrowdStrike here for a little bit. When we were talking about this name, and I can't believe I don't own this stock, and I'm not going to be buying it all the way up here, but you just punched through that 564 level and you grab another $14 after that. But literally a month and a bit ago, we were talking about this name down 40%. Okay, so this is a big time run off of that low. You're going to always catch the bottom, but 75% in CrowdStrike and some of these cybersecurity names, that's huge. I like this name, and I'm going to continue to do so. So if any form of a pullback, a retest of the previous all-time high, guess who's going to be a long-term holder of CrowdStrike? I already know somebody to the right of me, and it's not Sharif who's involved with this name. So I like that a lot.
CrowdStrike?
Yeah,
I've never owned it.
Never, but you're in another. You're in Cyb though.
Full disclosure, I took off some off the table yesterday on Pan,
but it broke through.
I told you that I had a lot, and I was not happy with the amount that I had. I had thrown out orders at key technical levels, all of which got filled because it dropped big.
I mean, man, what are you gonna?
I sold at 235. for a little bit there. Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Dude, there's nothing wrong with that
just too
whatsoever.
much
Take a little
ahead,
bit off,
brother, yeah.
man. 70% off of those lows. CrowdStrike, respectively, 75. So nothing wrong with playing that break and then off to the races. At some point, I was just like, dude, when you put in those strong of sessions in the middle of this range, it's just like, it's almost so obvious that you're going to pace for the previous break of that pivot, and that's exactly what happened. Zscaler, dare we even pull that one?
It has not done this. The cybersecurity space has not been this strong. Go back to the weekly for a sec. On
What, Zscaler?
No. Pandub. Wow, that's a mother of all double tops there. Jeez Louise. This is ripping, man. MRNO is into 82 pennies here. Okay, go weekly, Joey. Because go zoom out. Yeah, there we go. This is the area I'm talking about. This was a ridiculous area, and then it got super choppy after this area.
Got wrecked up there.
Yeah,
oh, but that's tariff tantrum, though.
Whatever it was, but this was like the best area to buy. I remember this time during 23,
nice.
23, the cybersecurity names were ripping. Look at that. Look at the area low, that support low. So what is that? $70.
Yeah.
Area high into 200. And so that's what I'm talking about. This move here from 70 into 200 was ridiculous.
But see what Sharif's pointing out here is like you have a pivot high right here. You climb higher. Where do you fall right into? This previous pivot high. Right, so that's a good time to buy. You're climbing again. So where's a good order, or where can you sell some CSPs if you have that amount of cash at the previous pivot high, just in case you get any form of a bounce? It's the same thing with CrowdStrike, and it was the exact same thing that I was talking about with the overall market, the Nasdaq. We're gonna go over that momentarily as soon as we get back from Adair, because I think it's key. We touched on this a couple of months ago, but I just want to show you that there's key levels. You look for key pivot zones, and I think those are good opportunities to buy. Adair, talk to us.
I will, guys. Unfortunately, I don't have a super fun topic to talk about here. As you can see, mRNA getting a little bit of a push here. Same with TRAW, also on the move. These are two names that are associated with the hantavirus situation, and from a trading standpoint, I am seeing reports here from local media in Ontario County, which is apparently a place in New York. There could be the first Ontario County hantavirus case. I think it is yet to be confirmed, but it's suspected. High school student, unfortunately, here in Ontario County, believed to have the hantavirus, TRAW and mRNA. Back to you.
All right,
what are your thoughts about the hantavirus?
I don't care about it, man.
I love the reaction. It's so good. It's so good. You could just tell,
you're not going to get me.
You're still saturated
You're not going to get me that one. I told you I had a great time during COVID.
I know, but that's the whole COVID era.
Yeah,
right?
you're not.
No, I'm not sure. They're not getting me with this.
All right. So this is what I wanted to talk about. Sharif brought a good point. We're missing this breakout here on IBIT. So one more pullback. We're going to get involved right at the volume weighted average price. But this is what I was referring to. Sharif talked about you break up and you come back to that previous pivot. Well, look what happened here. So in speaking of COVID, there you climb higher, come back to that previous pivot. Okay. No problem. You climb higher, you come back to that previous pivot. I understand that it takes some time, a couple of years, but at some point, we will come back to this level and you will be able to buy 635. Until then, be patient, and then maybe you continue to sell those CSPs, you lock in that cash, you lock into that cash until eventually you get assigned, or you're just patient. You sit on, you rotate your cash, you purchase, you allow it to climb, but when things start to turn around, you have the ability to grab the levels that you want. It's the exact same thing with the SPY. I don't think it's any form of coincidence. You come up to those levels, you retest them, and you bounce off of them in the grand scheme of things.
DJ the Menace dropping $4.99 in the chat. We're going to thank him for that, Joey. Reads as follows. Still up over 100% on the June 18th Nvidia 225 calls. Are there any other out-of-the-money calls that we should be looking at? That's your world right there.
On the 618 NVDA 225 calls. Are there any other out-the-money calls that we should be looking at? I mean, it seems like you know what you're doing. I don't think there is really what big earnings reports. We're at the tail end of things right now.
We're going to get that one next week, right?
Wednesday,
yes,
on the 20th, right, is NVDA. So other than that, that's the tail end of, I guess we call earnings. There's still some names after that. But as for the mega tech names, that's it. I think you're in the right direction. 225, those are in the money now. But if you're looking at out the money, I was talking about 250. Right, that's something that I'm going to be looking at a day before, probably the Tuesday evening. Going to be looking at those, at those 250 levels for us to play via options on NVDA. All right, there's that breakout, Sharif. Let's see if this is going to be continued. A 5-minute time frame, not looking too good from a volume standpoint. Stair step down. Really need to see that to uptick in order for us to get involved in it once again. 738, a support level here on SPY, so not too bad. And the exact same thing happened 708 here on the NASDAQ. Choppy stuff here today. Tesla not finding any form of a bottom, so we'll be patient. We'll look for some more opportunities. But that's what just be patient, guys. If you're sitting on substantial amount of cash, there's no reason, in my opinion, for you to chase price. You can just collect cash on the lower end. Obviously, as I mentioned before, it's not going to be the same amount as appreciation within the underlying asset, but it's better than nothing. And then you just wait for price to fall into your lap and you get a sign. While you're doing so, you have the ability to collect some passive income.
Well said, man. And that's obviously very wise and quite strategic. Continuing to watch mRNO, a couple of names I want to bring your attention to. SEGG, a name that's been mentioned multiple times by people in the chat, is also making a bigger move here up into $1.91. If I can just pull over the side chart. SEGG, it's, liquidity is a bit of an issue with this one. Sorry, let me just throw it onto the watch list here so I can get a better read on the volume. 2.41 million shares on a $1.88 name. And so, it is okay. What's the percentage up? 24.5. The spread is 3 pennies, which isn't too bad. Okay, it's easy to short as well. On my platform, about 350,000 shares available currently for short on SEGG, but you can't argue with price action. And $1.91 could see 2 shortly, up 23 and a fifth. Kind of a consolidative week. Good day yesterday. Got into that $1.50, held it today. So you got a couple of day rally on the daily. Yeah, well, it's one of these. That's normal, but it is stair stepping up, and there's a key level of resistance at 150 that's cleared. For anybody looking for swings, this could see $3. First, you obviously have to clear 2. We've had resistance at 2. You can see 2.25 featured prominently earlier in the year, January to about the double top manifesting there in early February. So 2.25 plays a key area of resistance, but this one has a propensity to kind of break out. Look at that. January 20th, 465 high. But I would say a much more realistic target for the swingers, $3. That's a 200 exponential. But again, that's all predicated upon clearing that $2 area. So good look for SEG. Nothing I'm interested in currently at the moment, but what I am interested in is trying to work my way back in here on mRNO. Looking at the 5-second chart, 75 penny resistance. Are we making higher lows? Generally, but it could be a lower high here into 76, topping tail on the 5. Looking for trend resumption to hold it around 74 to 73. If it holds 74, 73, takes out 76, we could be making a move here back into 80. But it has to make consistently higher highs, and there you go. Failing again into 70. If it loses 70 here, this is trouble. All right, into 69, we've breached prior bar low now, and then I see support at around 65. Whether or not it loses 70, but the 5-second chart does not look good for this one. There we go. So you can kind of see the trend. This is the 5-second chart. And that's kind of the failure there. That's what I was saying. It has to kind of continue up with that push of higher lows and then higher highs through 76. Did the exact opposite. That lures you in, right? And then it fails down. So you got to continue to assume that the trend will be to the downside here, okay? And especially if it loses 69, because that's a failure of making a higher high, and now you're going to make lower lows. So that's exactly the opposite you're looking for if you're long. But if you're Luis Barbado,
you're
salivating
I
at
thought
this
we had him.
No, we don't have. We can. I'm sure Luis would love.
He's in the chat.
Too,
yeah, he's in the chat.
Anytime he wants to come on, he's obviously
welcome. Yeah,
There's
exactly.
no question about that.
So guys, we're not getting that breakout. I see a couple people mentioning Fig heading back in towards the volume weighted average price. Really nice play. You can see the trend now. So buyers stepped right back in. You have that aggressive selling, but then sure enough, there's a couple of indecision prints along the way that showed us that we were going to hold trend, and then now we're starting to reject VWAP. Failed the breakout here on IBIT. No buyer stepping in, no demand north of this resistance zone, and we haven't actually, yes, we did. This morning I was talking about a specific level on the options chain that we can classify as a resistance zone and a supply zone, and that was at 48. We tank off of 45.63, so we weren't fortunate enough in order to get to that level. But now what are we starting to see? A massive supply zone at 45. So this is going to be our potential ceiling here on the day on IBIT. $45, 80,000 contracts that are going to be expiring in the matter of 2.5 hours. Or no, what am I talking about? 3.5 hours there roughly. So keep an eye out on this one. Short might be the play. Do we re-engage in this one? I don't know if we're going to. Price is really starting to compress, but what we need in order for us to take an additional trade on this position, on that specific name, is volume stepping in. And it's doing what the overall market is. It's just chopping around a lot of overlapping candles, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for. I want to find some form of a trend with a pullback, with any form of indecision that says, hey, let's start to re-engage in on this, all right? So that's our narrative. Let's head back to our watch list.
Elon is nuts.
What do you
Did you see the video of him taking different pictures at the meeting with President Xi and all the other business leaders there? So it's like the Xiaomi guy wanted to take a picture with him, and he was so annoyed.
Oh, was he actually?
Because they make sick electric vehicles, right?
Yeah.
Xiaomi makes everything, though.
Xiaomi makes everything. They have the phone
right?
and everything.
And then he's like Tim Cook. He's acting a fool, bro. He's such a child.
I would be the biggest fool too if I was the richest man on the planet.
And he brought his kid with him. And his kid is he's getting a little bit more behaved from what I've noticed lately. I think he's getting used to the limelight.
Yeah,
he brings his kid everywhere.
His kid used to be running around.
Yeah, Donald didn't like his kid apparently, if you believe the rumors, of course.
Really?
Yeah, that's what people said.
Oh well, that's that seems like Donald's fault.
Well, I mean, he's an elderly man.
I understand.
They kind of run out of patience with kids at that age, right?
Some kids are.
My dad's like that.
Does he?
Yeah.
He's like, all right,
Doesn't like little kids yelling.
Yeah. Hey man, it is what it is. We were all little kids at once, but they can get annoying. But
exactly. Rich with a $2 super chat. I think this is directed to you, Joey.
Yes, sir.
SPY, May 20th, 7:45 calls. What do you think?
What are we sitting at right now, Willis? 741. What was our high of the day? We could take a look at that. A lot of options activity coming in today. I love it. Keep it coming, guys. Fig, strong up move. Hangry Wife, keep rocking in and rolling on that one. So congratulations to everybody who happened to buy that dip below some of our entry prices here today. So yeah, a good one. Buyer stepping right back in. We got the 20th. That is going to be the day that NVDA reports 5 days from now, 7:45. 745. Those are $280 right now. So, I mean, hey, what we need is the market to bounce. We can pull this up. And are we? Could we found a temporary top, as Neil would like to say? I think that could be the case. 745 doesn't put us at an all-time high, but maybe you see some form of a rebound. I do believe there's going to be a pullback. Do we want to be buying long contracts right now that are that expensive? That's a question that you need to ask yourself. For me, it's probably going to be no unless there's an earnings report. And are you going to get those strong volatility upticks? Don't forget, maybe go a day after just in case NVDA decides to soar and it helps drag the SPY up with it. Other than that, I think that's a decision you need to make. What are you willing to risk on that one?
Yeah, good analysis. I'm just looking here, some more headlines coming out of the meeting between President Trump and President Xi. Looks like the market's a little disappointed here, Joey, that there was no chip deal at least announced. In fact, I think when asked point blank, President Trump said the H200 wasn't even brought up.
I don't know, because we just read the other day. I think it's still the tennis match still goes on. Right, Shreve? Because it was like the morning before when he first arrived, or the day after or something. We're like, okay, 10 companies are going to receive the H200. But now there's not. I mean, it's been that. This has been the whole story. They want them, they don't want them. They're getting them, they're not getting them.
Yeah.
So I think we still.
I feel like
I don't know what's going on.
Is like not even like dabbling in this. That this is like some other bureaucrat who's kind of holding this up. I don't know, the Politburo or what's happening over there, but. Yeah, it looks like as if maybe, a little disappointed here in chip land that nothing was agreed to. I hope there's a bit of a follow-up, right? Because we talked a lot about the importance of the Chinese market. Now, you don't want to sell them your best stuff, clearly, right? No. And that's the point.
And that was going to be my question to you. Do you think it gets to the point where if they really want to be exposed into the Chinese market, they just say, hey, all right, never mind this lesser version. We're just going to give you our best stuff.
I think they would meet insane opposition from government.
Probably.
Both Democrats and Republicans seem to be a little bit in consensus on this issue. You see the tech guys, they want to sell their best products for obvious reasons. They want money.
They want the cash.
No, but I don't think you'll be met with a lot of political consensus on that. And don't undercut the fact that the Chinese want to advocate for a domestic alternative. So they're also motivated for their companies not to buy American tech.
Exactly. Yeah,
right? They want Huawei and SMIC, which is like the biggest chip maker in the world, by the way. We know very little about. It's delisted now on North American markets. SMIC.
You know what I think?
Check it out.
You know what I think needs to happen is just cut this frenemy. That's how you say it, right? Like
frenemy, yeah,
right. Crap, and just work together. Think about the potential. The two largest economies on the planet working hand in hand. Like,
I know.
You think how much more money you would actually make opposed to competing?
Like, there can only be one.
No, that's not true, man. Like, we're going through an industrial revolution,
I know.
right? And that doesn't mean there has to be one clear-cut winner.
I don't know. Have you like remember the Cold War? Like the Soviets and the Americans, and it was.
But like, imagine if you put that to the side, what you could do, over whatever tech. Like you'll have wins and losses on both sides. Like if you allow Chinese EVs into the States, that is absolutely destroyed. But and we talked about this before. What does that make the Americans company to? It forces them to be more innovative and find a way, right? So if you allow that, again, it may be a double-edged sword. And the same thing, if you sell your best chips to them, well, it's a win-win. They're going to be creating things that you can take technology from, but you're also going to be collecting a crazy amount of revenue at the exact same time.
In theory, you're right, but you understand, like, they repurpose these chips for military purposes, right? And then you give them an advantage militarily, and that's not pleasing to anybody.
If there's no reason to fight, then you don't need it for military purposes. You know what I mean? I understand I'm talking about a perfect world right now.
Yeah, you're talking about a utopia.
Exactly.
And I just don't think that it's realistic because your interests are always adverse. You're trying to push your companies, I'm trying to push mine. There's a finite market. Right? Yeah. I respect what you're saying, ideally, but I just don't think it happens, Joe.
It would never happen. That's the unfortunate.
But you heard them use that sort of language, right?
Yeah.
He's like, she specifically, whose statement was very scripted. Donald's, as per usual, was off the cuff. But she said, like we should be working on the problems of our time together. He said all the right things, man. You know what it's shades of? Gorbachev and Reagan, a little bit.
Okay, I wouldn't know.
So you had basically the last Soviet leader. He was a reformist, right? And then Reagan took a very aggressive position with communism, and they liked each other. They genuinely liked each other. I think she and Trump actually like each other. But the systems are what they are, brother. They're not going to get over that, right? I don't know. Tony says not quite. Well, obviously different characters on both guys. I was looking here at some headlines with Apple and Intel. Interesting. Looks like Apple set to be cultivating Intel to become a long-term key supplier, says Ming-Chi Kuo. So he said that his latest industry checks on Apple and Intel partnership indicate that Apple has kicked off a low-end legacy iPhone/iPad/Mac processors at Intel using their 18A node. It's the 18AP series specifically. What is this? 4VOS packaging. We've been talking a lot about how Intel actually has an advantage here for packaging, especially if you want to kind of reshore a lot of the process. Packaging is going to be first among them, I think, for Intel. So nice to see that you're getting semi-fab here and you're getting packaging. Going on, the order mix is roughly 80% iPhone, again, low-end legacy iPhone, not the high-end stuff. Mirroring Apple's end device sales mix, Apple's wafer plans at Intel reflect the technology lifecycle of the 18AP series. There's also going to be small-scale testing in 26 with ramping up in 27 and continued growth into 28, and then a decline, in 29. I'd like an explanation on that. Apple is also actively evaluating Intel's other advanced nodes, specifically, of course, 14A, doesn't say that here. Intel's mass production timeline and shipment scale remain unclear, and assemblers/EMS have not yet seen any shipment schedules. Intel's 2027 yield target is to first stabilize about up 50-60%. And if you're following along here, That was one of Intel's major problems at their new fab, whether it was 18A or 14A, their yields were crap. Relative, of course, to Taiwan Semi. What yield is when you put in the wafer, right, which is like this, obviously kind of looks like a circle. You throw it in, and then they're cut up into like little, squares. And the percentage of those squares, which are each chips that's actually usable, that's what the yield is. Continue on, even if Intel's initial shipments go smoothly, TSMC will still retain over 90% of the supply share. The analyst said Apple is systemic key supplier. That should be interesting. Again, I think this is all geopolitics at work here. I don't even think Apple wants to use them. You want the truth. Right? I think this is Donald putting a lot of pressure on local companies.
Absolutely. Why? It's just, I don't think the coincidence is too real in order for them to. Okay, there goes something going on maybe here in the crypto territory, guys. As we have we had a flush down, and then now we're getting bought right back up, and a nice print stab here. I think there might be a potential move. If it breaks down, then so be it. So we're rocking and rolling. The defense isn't something that I necessarily want to see, but you flush down and then you're immediately bought right back up. And the wedge that I'm referring to, 5-minute hammer right at the volume weighted average price. So there's a couple stars aligning. I wouldn't be surprised if we see something step in momentarily and we can break through this resistance zone. I talked about the supply at 45, so this might be a little bit of a headwind here for us on this specific name. But other than that, we're going to take the shot. We're going to take the opportunity. We're only giving this a couple of cents worth of risk, 10 cents to be exact. We're in at 92s. We're out at 82s. It's that simple. And if it doesn't break up, that just shows that it's a false move right now. But what we have compared to earlier in the session, and I mean, we're talking about almost 1 o'clock at this point, and you have an increase in an uptick in volume, that shows that there might be something about to happen here in Bitcoin. If it doesn't, then hey, we get caught in that false breakup, and that's what Michael Noss was talking about. You get caught up in breakouts more often than they actually work. So, and Neil will say the exact same thing. So with that being said, there could be an inverse play to be had here. But I like what we're seeing, consistent higher lows and some real indecision price starting to compress on these ones. So let's head back to the actual options chain and see if there's anything that's changed, considering we did have that volume uptick. It didn't close, that print didn't close how I wanted it to. That's not good. So we're starting to break down a little bit. Our last attempt on this bad boy, we don't want to give back too much on the day, but if we give back a little bit, you have to take the shots. You miss 100% of them that you don't take. Now, as for 45.87, no, nothing's really changed. Increase in volume, obviously, as contracts open and close as we near the end of this session. I mean, there's still a couple of hours left, 3 hours to be exact, 3 hours and 10 minutes. So let's see what we can get. Come on, Bitcoin. Bang, 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 bang. Only hit the stone cold once here today. If we get that breakout, it's going to be a good one.
It is, man. It's going to be a good one anyway, bro.
Yeah.
Just the weather looks ridiculous.
Yeah, I can't wait to get outside, man.
I'm playing tennis with Juan. We're gonna smash some tennis tomorrow. He apparently is good, and he has his racket, and his stuff came. That's why he left. His stuff came early.
What do you mean?
Because he got it shipped from Malaysia.
His racket and stuff?
Everything, his stuff. He's gonna be here for 6 months, right? He's got to have a couple of things.
I don't know who Juan. Juan. Yeah.
Well, the viewers don't know him yet, but they'll find out soon enough.
Oh, you guys are running some nice,
tennis,
man,
baby.
Nice. Is he? You don't have to answer. He's staying near you, or
he's staying downtown. I'm coming down.
Okay, all right, man. Enjoy.
Yeah, anybody who's game for tennis, bro, I'm gonna entertain. I don't
have the agility right now, man.
That's all good, bro. Soon. It'll be ripping soon. Sorry, guys, I haven't been in a position. I don't like anything. Nothing is setting up in a good way at the moment, at least in small cap gap or world. So I do apologize for not being in a position for about half an hour or so. But ERNA, I do want to mention this, and shout out to TT Mass. Thank you for calling this out, brother. Multiple halts here, and I don't know what the hell is going on with this, but it just ripped up. I was trading at about 12 bucks, 13 bucks. Now it's halted a little bit south of 15, 14.92. ERNA, the ticker. I'm just looking at the blotter super quick, see if I can look for an explanation. There we go. Well, this all came earlier, though. Let me double check here. Nope, this did not come earlier. Volatility halt. Here it is, circuit breaker. This is all circuit breaker, therapeutic trading names. I'm assuming this has something to do maybe with cutting edge gene editing. I don't know if this has anything to do with antivirus, but It's just give me circuit breaker. Go ahead, Adair.
I always check social media for these. There's not much on social media either, so people aren't like super looking at this, which is also interesting. There's not a lot of talk.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything either, quite frankly, but 1492 halt. Keep your eye out on this one, obviously. So this is, that's what I'm telling you. People are yelling about AWD, pardon me. AWD. Let's have a look. Yeah, oh, that's the daily. 5 minute. Yeah, okay, guys, it's not ripping. Still lower highs, but yes, it is popping off that 175 high, trying to breach 2. In fact, it got into 210. You know what I'm going to say about this, though? Like, I need to start seeing higher highs, right? Like, this is what catches my attention, these lower highs. That all ends with a move above 2 1/5, 2 1/4. It breaches the double top that we have here, Joey, at 1030, 1035, 1040. So yes, AUUD, pardon me, looking good, but it's going to show a little bit more. Now, testosterone replacement therapy has rejected 20, as we kind of guessed. And I want to mention that it is now coming in pretty close to VWAP. There could be buyers here. Again, underline that could be, but this could be a money fill at VWAP on TRT. You need to exercise caution here. It is a bit spready. As I see it right now, TRT's got a 10 penny spread, but that can be as wide, I think, as 20 or 30 pennies. I've seen now showing 13. But anyway, keep your eye here on TRT. A possible, dip buy off the volume weighted average price, currently 770, candle low, VWAP 758 or 7 high 50s. That basically means we're in and around there. I think ERNA opened up, did it? Yes, it's open. 16, okay, let's load this up on a trading screen here. It's dropping though. Let's have a quick look. Probably not going to trade pi for the rest of the day, but ER. Sorry guys, ERNA. All right, it's going to halt down. It's in a halt down parameter, and it's halted down now. Halted down, 13:43 halt time, 12:54:09. Top showing 13:18. It was just at 12. We're going to keep right back to 12. So this is a little illiquid, obviously, guys. We haven't done 1 million shares on the day, and we may suffer from illiquidity for the rest of the day if this keeps halting up and down. 683,000 shares done so far. So something to be on the lookout for there. But again, TRT coming into VWAP. Now this is where we load it up and take a better look at it. I'm pretty sure I had it up on this screen, and I did. There it is, TRT, right into that 1750 level. Again, I'm not going to buy a falling knife, but I'm definitely interested in seeing if it holds up here, moseying on in, getting in, maybe an 18 beak wetter, looking for 18.5. We can break trend into 19. I think that puts us in a position to break 20. But it was an obvious double top at 20 and followed by a bunch of lower highs and lower lows, taking us down to VWAP, Joey.
All right, good stuff.
BuzzFeed's moving again, I guess.
BuzzFeed's
yelling
saving
about that.
lives here. Oklahoma, Lone Wolf, Oklahoma.
MRNO's
City.
curling. MRNO's curling, multiple bottoming tail candles into 65, and here it is into 70. Be careful with this one, but it is curling though, and they're showing you there's a lot of buyers at 65 on MRNO, but there's equally as aggressive sellers at around 70 pennies. 70-ish pennies reject, that's a lower high, and we're going to lose 65. If we retake 75, we could be on the move here to take out 82. So MRNO still in focus, but it's got to decisively clear 70. If it fails that low 70 area, it's going to be likely a flat bottom break through 65.
All right, good stuff, man. We're still watching this price compress here on IBIT. At some point, it's going to go one way or the other. Excuse me. Break down and we see some aggressive selling, or we get some form of a recovery here on IBIT. So let's continue to focus on this one as we're heading right back towards our entry price. A nice uptick there, flush to the downside. I'm like, no, don't get us on this one. But the one thing that I'm keeping an eye out on here is just that the fact that we have from 9:30 out of the open until 10 a.m. So it's a half an hour of just aggressive selling. And why am I classifying that? We can see that the candles are straight down, but look at the volume by time supporting it, right? Like, and then after this selling happens, this aggressive selling happens, what happens to the volume by time? It just absolutely falls off a cliff. So it's really cooled down. And if you see these participants, if they haven't offloaded all of their inventory and they decide to step back in, they've chopped up enough. They're not really, or sorry, other people are just getting chopped up in within this range, like myself, and they're like, oh, okay, we're ready to move price a little bit lower, and the heavier shareholders step in and decide to offload the inventory, then it's see you later, right? It's down to the downside and potentially testing the low of the day. What does it look like on a daily? Yeah, that supply zone at 45 is really hurting us there, guys. It doesn't want to seem to break. We run into 45.95, and then that was as high as we could potentially go. I mean, are we on the backside of this trend? We do have a couple of opens on the south side, so maybe we need to be alarmed. And what was I referring this previous up rally to? Kind of what we had here before. So you take the aggressive leg lower, you rally up, and then it's flush city after that point. And the exact same narrative may happen. If this trend line breaks and it really starts to get going, then it's not going to be a pretty look in Bitcoin. And I say this pretty much every day. We're still down 37%. Right, I don't mean to rub it in, and you guys know that I have IBIT and everything for all the crypto individuals and stuff like that. So it's just really unfortunate. And I think the scenario is even worse in Ethereum, ETHA, right? So Ethereum, we got to wait a little bit for this one to get rocking and rolling again. 37, you're down 53%. You were down 60%. Off of those highs. And I remember with Tom Lee, I mean, we all point the finger at Tom Lee, and I get it. You have to make your own decisions at the end of the day. But it's crazy to think that we were talking about seeing $15,000 on Ethereum, and it sells off around just below 5,000. Like, it was pretty much 5K, and then it's just like, yeah, okay, 3X that? No. Considering what all the blockchain talks that we had going on. It's really unfortunate, man, because I understand why we're not seeing that much attraction within these assets, is because it's like, who wants to sit through these 60% pullbacks? And we were talking about the Treasury plays, the Bitcoins and the ETHAs, the IBITs and the ETHAs, hopefully removing some of the volatility within the class, and that hasn't been the case whatsoever, right? So it's really unfortunate, and I can understand that people are like, hey, man, we've lost a lot of money in this stuff. I don't feel like doing so anymore. I'm going to go put it in towards something else. And whether it be the chip trade or something else along those lines, the banks or whatever's in vogue, you have to wait for those new wave of participants to step in and who find the cryptocurrencies attractive at the levels that they're currently trading at. And I don't think we're seeing that right now, to be honest with you, Shreve.
Yeah. Well, at least we're off the 60s.
Yeah, at least we're off the floor.
You know
I mean,
yeah.
You got to take it for what it is.
Yeah,
I agree. At least we're not continuously selling. So.
You know, I feel like there's some good news coming to the crypto section as well. We see with the
clarity.
Yeah, exactly. Coming in, hopefully here we're in MRNO now. We got 69s. Here comes 72. Looking for a breakout into 73. Looking for the move through. This is curling and it's changing trend, but we're not out of the wire. We're not even close. We got to get above 75 for this to decisively change trend. I don't want to take anything out here. If I get stopped out, I get stopped out. Simple. I'm looking for a 65 hold generally, and I'm looking for a bigger move. We have higher lows. We have higher highs. However, we do have overhead resistance. And so the sellers could be using that to force us down, right? Whether or not we complete the U, the curl, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But this is my out right here. Right through 65. So we're going to give this one the old college try. HYLN just made the same higher high. I was trying to load that one up. I didn't really like the volume on that one. I saw it moments ago. Let me just have a quick look again. Yeah, brother, there. Oh, that's a 5-second chart. My bad. That's why. Excellent call on HYLN. Say less on that one. We're going to take off BuzzFeed here because I don't want to trade that. HYLN, great call on that. HYLN. We'll have to execute on that momentarily, but a great flat top breakthrough on HLYN. Who called that out? I want to give him credit. Where the hell is their name? Sammy G, New Zealand. Shout out to you, brother. Great call. This is the look of HYLN at the moment. A very, very obvious bull flag pattern. I think that's one that we can all say we see on the chart there. And then you get the flat top break, the resistance area break through 435. Quite clear in my humble submission. It's also led up to with higher lows. So the buyers, what this means for those who are like, why is he pointing out these chart patterns? What do these mean? Well, it means something. It means that buyers are picking it up at higher and higher prices, right? But when you get these area rejections, that means there's a seller there. So if we can remove the seller, that opens up the move above, and that's exactly what we got there. Beautiful move up into 458. We're going to continue to watch this one and see what it has to offer. I wouldn't mind, trying to pick up maybe a move back down into the 440s, maybe mid to low 440s. Typically, I don't like to see a move right back down to 435. That's if it even lets you. It's on its horse here. Here comes 460. HYLN is rapid. Let's throw that up on the side chart over here, Joey. So we can get an updated price. Otherwise, these charts, they're quite finicky. They don't like to update the price and the percentage up and down on the day unless they're put in on the side chart there, Joey. So, you can talk to your boys at IB.
What are they? I'll call them.
You're going to give them a call? All right. Shout out to Joey's killing me. Buvin's talking about HYLN as well. Everybody and their mother is talking about HYLN. It's the one that's in vogue right now. Let's pull it up on a trading screen, Assassino. And we can't even do that properly because probably on the NY, and there it is. There we go. So it's a NYSE stock, but it's looking pretty good. And the volume profile really picking up locally. I want to say around 1 o'clock, 5.875 million shares, a 1 penny spread, a respectable spread here, one that we can definitely work with. The volume definitely picking up a little bit. It wasn't great earlier on. You can kind of see the volume bars was okay, especially during this consolidative area. But yeah, I want to see it move down possibly into the 440s. Oh, I'm going to get stopped out here of MRNO if it loses 65. This could be a lower high, and now we're about to get stopped out. We'll take the first L on the day here on MRNO if we lose 65. But, hey, got to try. This was what I was concerned about, is that it ends up making a lower high relative to that, 80 penny high, and then we get flat bottom through 65. That hasn't quite happened yet, but I'm not feeling optimistic about a move here into 80, Joey.
All right, good stuff, man. We're just still, it's the same thing, right? Like, it's one thing or the other is going to happen considering how long it's been moving sideways for. Right out of the gate from 10 o'clock this morning, now we're sitting at 1. So 3 hours of just sideways consolidation. At some point, you're going to break. Now, we have to be prepared to get out if it's against us. You can see that we're continuously rejecting the volume-weighted average price, and we have to be prepared to see what's going on if it collides to the top side, all right? So we have to take some profits, especially if the volume isn't supporting it. I have no issues with kicking this to the curb here on the day if it doesn't work, right? It's going to be our last attempt on this bad boy for the intraday session, and then we're going to find something that has a little bit more orderly price action. At that point, if we hold to our stop, we will give back a little bit more on our day, and it's just kind of been a couple of paper cuts since that point, right? So we don't want to continuously do that thing. 2:30, like 2:30, 3 o'clock, there's going to be some good quality opportunities, whether it be via TSLL or something along those lines. So bear with me, be patient, and let's put on some high quality trades. That's the narrative of what we go.
Bang.
But bang, man, this isn't even going. This isn't doing what we want to. Let's head over to TikTok. I'm sure our good friend. Oh, you sent me a video?
I sent it so that I can use it myself.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Sorry.
Bravely asking us a couple of things. Let's head over to TikTok and see what everyone else has got going on there. Followed live, followed live. Mealy for a bounce. I think that's probably more or less Sharif's world. MELI. Let's see.
Melly? No, man, that's a big time.
Mercado Libre. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a big company.
That is a big time company. All right, Mercado Libre for a bounce.
Big in Assassino. Do they operate in Brazil?
Brazilian.
A lot. Assassino said they're in Brazil. I know they're in Latin America, pretty prevalent. They're from Argentina. Yeah.
So is my barber.
The Brazilians and the Argentinians get along, right, Assassino? There's no really okay. I'm not saying that one out loud there.
Haters, man.
Of course.
I know why. They all wish they had Messi. Probably.
They all feud, right? But some of it's due to soccer rivalry, right?
It's all soccer.
Yeah,
he's South American.
I want to show this, Joey. This is Joby Aviation, and this was the move the inaugural flight in New York. Kind of takes off there, and then we talked about this, right? This is kind of right into downtown Manhattan, connects into JFK. So this is how many engines is that? That's 6. So you got 3 at the front, 3 at the back, right? Vertical takeoff and landing. What I want to point out, Joey, is that look at this. So the propellers change angles.
Yeah, that's it.
Right? So then you've got the vertical aspect of it. Then once you get the altitude, you change it straight so that you can fly just level, and it kind of kicks off there. Let's skip to the end there, see how it looks. It is pretty sick, bro.
It is pretty cool.
Is that's 6 engines? Yeah, 4 at the front, 2 at the back. That's my
It just
mistake
looks like
there.
a plane, though. With
It does look like a
propellers.
plane, right? I'm assuming it could also land on water at some point, right?
I mean, you know what that's gonna probably be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there it is. It's the same thing with Jamaica. They don't like some of the islands there. For some reason, Trinidad is like
Really?
the arch
There's
rivals.
beef there,
yeah.
eh?
I don't even know why.
Interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, well, planes. Well, yeah. I mean, they do. So there we go, guys. We got an uptick, and we broke through the resistance zone in IBIT, but it was just immediately met by defense. So we have pressure there. We tapped into 44.94. And came right back in. Would like to see a little bit more volume step in with that, but we didn't get it. I just have a hunch something's gonna happen, but excuse me, the more we reject this level, the less I truly like it. And if we break a shelf, I may just be getting caught in some chop here, and I have to be prepared to accept the fact that I'll be getting out at a bad time, or it's gonna rip without me if we do get out of that time. So yeah.
I'm talking to Fabian. Fabian's like, I sent you a picture of this airplane. This is the
man.
V2 Osprey, bro. This airplane, if you're a military person in the States, you have mixed feelings about this airplane.
Why?
It took them a lot of time to get this right. It killed a lot of people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's again, the propellers, they allow it to take off vertically, and then they adjust mid-flight to be forward-facing. And were a lot of crashes. This is the V2 Osprey. Bro, this thing's been in development since the 80s. They're getting it right 40 years later.
That's all right. At least they're getting it right.
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, yeah, of course, bro. I'm not saying.
So that's the major difference is just the vertical takeoff.
Yeah,
right?
but this is not electrical engines. This is just the regular
it's
jet
diesel,
engines,
diesel,
right?
yeah, or jet fuel.
Yeah. I see Travman's talking. He's talking about it right now. I knew that a lot of people would, not like that airplane because, it could have killed some of your family, right? I mean, a lot of people died, my understanding. HCWB's ripping here. It's reawakening. Found support clearly at the dollar here, Joey, or a little bit south of the dollar. Looks like a 99 penny low, but ripped up into 123. That was kind of a double top that sent it lower. It held generally, I want to say, that pre-market top that we essentially had from 720 into about 905, took off a little bit before the implied balance open. The implied balance price right at 950 is in fact the high of the day, and we've been putting in lower lows and lower highs since that time. So this is a key breakout here, but there was clearly a buyer 99-ish area. So HCWB back in vogue here. MRNO, the exact opposite look. It is bleeding and bleeding quite aggressively. There's 65 where we got stopped out. Now it's at 59.86. 57.50 looks to be the volume weighted average price, give or take. It's lost the 10, it's lost the 20. It could find some support at 60 pennies here, just based on the fact that it is the 60 penny level. But I also want to mention that HYLN is continuing to look really good. 4 2/3, it probably is on the move here to the $5 area. I don't want to pick it up at highs, but I also want to point out the fact that it hasn't made any lower lows right now. On the 5-minute chart, every subsequent candle has a higher low than the preceding candle. So HYLN looking pretty looking pretty good for the trend here.
Okay.
Shout out to Lettuce Go TV dropping 2 in the chat. Shop, you think you can get it to 104 today? Well, I'll just speak for myself. I can't. Maybe Joey can, but we'll have a look to see what the TA looks like for you, brother, in and around 104.
On Shop?
Yep.
I want to get out of
Good
this.
Canadian company, my boy.
You're talking about beak weather. This is a beak sweater, man.
Beak sweater right there.
IBIT.
There we go. Shop looks good. You want it to get to 104. Maybe on the close, like if there's a big market on close order, pushing this one up, you would also have to breach the highs from the 12th. What day was that? So this is Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. Tuesday's high, 103 and a half, 103 and a quarter. 104, why? Do you have options in there, I'm assuming?
Ooh.
Something 104. 104 also, it's a local area high back from, I guess, the 11th as well. I don't know, brother. It looks like it's based out nicely here at 95, making some higher lows and higher highs. It could be making its way onto 104. If I guessed, I think, the market would really have to catch a nice uptrend here for this one to make 104. It's already up 3.5% on the day. It's not a small company. It's $130 billion market cap. But, What do you think? You want to comment on that?
Yeah,
Anything
we can
with respect to calls?
And I've been talking about IBIT here for I think a little bit too long. There's a massive volume spike, the largest.
$100 calls.
The massive volume spike, the largest since 10:15 this morning. Let's pull up Shopify here.
Pull up.
Shout out to O Canada.
I feel like it's very quiet today on the set. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. I mean, it is a Katina Man's. He's usually rolling it, strolling.
There's usually a lot of people coming in and out. A lot of
people are home. Randy's not here today either. So
yeah, that's true.
So shout out to him. Shop,
Randy.
put up here, get it. Randy is right. Shopify back up to $100. Thing out here and see what we got going on.
Get it, Joey.
Oh yeah, I mean, when did they say when those contracts expire?
Jesse Marquinos wants to know where you cop that piece.
I think it's H&M. H&M.
Hey, there you go.
Nothing special. It's not like Neil over there.
Well, what's Neil got on?
He's
got the collar on.
Tapped in, yeah.
Is that the cardigan?
Yeah,
that's the cardigan right there.
Tapped in, man.
Hey, no, that's just a V-neck zip up. That's not a cardigan.
You got the quarter zip
Get
on
it, Neil.
I think by the end of the day, it might be a little bit of a stretch, but maybe in the near future, if this name has bottomed, then you might see a pop up into 104. That's nothing outstanding. You said you had the $100 calls or something along those lines, waiting for 104. Just make sure that you have plenty of time, even if it happens in a couple of days. And if you do hit your target, be prepared to take some out. So. That's that narrative here. Oh man,
It's so funny.
So what I'm doing here, guys, is that I'm anticipating a breakout instead of participating, and we're just not getting that right now in Bitcoin. So I got to get prepared to hop out of this thing. I know I've been talking about it for quite some time, but this is my second largest position of the day, and there it goes to the downside.
Like anything.
Yeah,
bro.
that's it. I think I'm just gonna hop out. It's no point in just kind of like beak sweating over here when you don't need to. Why would you ask me then, Jesse? Let's get out of this name. All right, that's it. We're Bitcoin. We'll change up our charting here, Sharif, and we'll find something else to trade.
Bloom Energy Gate is getting clipped, bro. We're down 7 1/3 on this name. Do we make all-time highs yesterday? Yeah, we made all-time highs, and we get clipped 7 1/3 on the way down, man. Yeah, it's still bull flagging though. I mean, let's go through the sectors, guys. Let's see what's strong, what's on sale. What we're interested in picking up. Let's have a look, of course, at the Meta, man. Meta having a decent day over here. At least it's not as negative as some others. Meta's still on a bit of a downtrend. I feel like Meta's still, not ready to be picked up quite yet. 550 seems to be a recurring level here, or at least mid 500s for META. Let's look a little bit down. This is the softy change in trend. Now we're getting some decent moves here on Softy. I feel like we've maybe based out at around 360, and we've been putting in this interesting area of support at 400 as of late on Microsoft. A bit of a range though, wouldn't you say, guys? About a lot of 430 resistance and a lot of 400 support. I wonder if that jives with the what's it called market, the options market. Let me take a quick look on my other chart there. I want to see if that 430 is the simple moving average at the 200, because 440 is the exponential. So let's quickly flip to the daily here. No, in fact, the simple is a lot higher, 462. So the exponential still a little bit lower. So I anticipate resistance at around the 200, right? And that you remember we got the death cross here on Softy back in I want to say mid to late January. So Microsoft, an interesting name, especially with that Ackman pickup that could get some passive buying from retail as well as other hedge funds who may be interested in his position. Intel, I think, is a definite buy. You pick this up on sale, and people may think that that's crazy. I don't think it's crazy. I think this is a very geopolitically supported name going forward, like for multiple years. So $100 is an absolute buy for me on Intel. That's just speaking for myself, never financial advice for anybody else, but I'd be picking up Intel at $100. I've never had the opportunity to get Intel. I didn't really know if the story was going to manifest. Bless you, Ram. So I'm looking for Intel at $100, especially with that 135. You're getting it 35% off, and that's kind of the way I view it there. So Intel, an interesting area. The memory names, I've also never dabbled in any of the memory names. In fact, SNDK bucking the trend. It and Qualcomm, the only two names on my semiconductor watch list, which are green on the day. I don't think I'm going to touch any of the memory names. I get it. They're not even trading that high forward earnings. I'm hearing Micron and SanDisk are trading in single digits, low double digits forward PE or earnings, one of the two, which is quite cheap when you compare it to other semiconductor names. So I get, fundamentally, these could still be priced relatively well, but they're just so high beta for me that I'd just rather stay away. There's other things I can get into. Micron, also another 5% negative Vil. Let's see if 700 features here on Micron. We've been almost up to 825. You've definitely got resistance here into the 690s. You assume 700 will probably be that magnetic pull down that some people could be looking at. It also is just a little bit lower than the 10 EMA, about 712 or so. So that's what I would think there. Let's move down the list, see what else could be a pickup. I wouldn't pick up, any of these, more of these analog chip names like MCHP or TXN. I get there's a good tailwind for these bad boys, but I'd rather stay with the more advanced chip making plays. I mean, the chip makers like AMAT. Didn't AMAT have earnings yesterday? Yeah, it did. It popped up quite nice into 475. It looks like it got sold off with the weaker market today. That's another name, and I think that they did quite well on earnings. Again, I missed today's news cycle, but I did catch that one in the aftermarket yesterday. ASML also getting clipped, probably due to the lack of a deal between President Trump and President Xi on chips. 1600's been a really tough area for ASML to clear. You'll recall back in late January when earnings, it had a pre-market move into about 1600, and 1600's been a really, really tough area for ASML to clear, which is fine because this is what keeps me motivated. These higher lows, I think it's sooner rather than later. We close above 1600, but 1600 a key technical area for ASML. A lot of obviously red today in microchip semiconductor world. So Lumentum as well getting clipped, but getting a little bit bought off. Since the open, it's up 3%, still down 3 1/3 on a day. This is also having a lot of trouble closing above 1,000. I get it's been above that, 1,080, but most of the closing prints, for the exception of a few, having trouble with that 1,000. I still am buoyed by the higher lows. I think that's pretty operative. That Neil Zingle. Dropping 20 in the chat. Hey guys, Sharif. I gotta read these first. You look like a young Mansoor Bahrami today, the great tennis player. Boring market day. Can you take a minute and go over the options on Nvidia and how price walls are in play currently? That's Joey's world, the options world. We'll definitely look at that for you. But I want to know who this Mansoor Bahrami is.
Pull that guy up, man.
Huh?
While you pull him up, we'll talk a little bit about NVDA and what we got going on over here. Yeah, there goes Fig, holding up some of these levels, man. We may as well just stick with that name if it's going to be working out for us here. We took 2 attempts on Bitcoin, no go on that one. So we're going to put that one we got to kick it to the curb.
He's Iran. He's Persian French.
You don't really, yeah, I mean, I can see the resemblance there. How these walls come into play, this is Shopify, so we're not going to see anything along those lines. But again, there's nothing outstanding, right? Like, we're talking about a couple of days after the report. There's nothing from a call wall standpoint all the way up into $250, right? And even so, that's not substantial. We've seen some levels grow, but nothing crazy, especially from what we've seen before on previous earnings reports, where there is a very, very low chance that you have some of you have some price action breaking through some of the strike prices, right? With what we're seeing right now is there's nothing crazy. I know I'm repeating myself, but 250, 63,000 is your next call wall leading into the report, and this is 2 days after. Usually we would start to see that pick up a little bit. That has not been the narrative this quarter. Adair.
Keep an eye here on ASTS pushing higher here after a release from the Federal Communications Commission, or the FCC, signals long-term support for space-based cellular networks through new spectrum action. So once again here, FCC announcing that support. This just came out through a public file release. If you guys want, I can drop this document into the chat for you all. ASTS pushing to the upside.
Here, that's what I want to hear. We're all waiting for that. Love it. Good look, man. I'm looking for this to really take off as an industry. Again, I looked into the reasons why. Remember, Jose, was telling me that they had to actually collaborate with terrestrial
with towers.
Cell providers.
Yeah.
That's not for a technical reason, in the sense that the space-based satellites aren't sufficient in and of themselves.
Yeah.
It's more of the fact that they own the spectrums, and the fact that you have to license the spectrum off the owner of the spectrum, which is, again, auctioned off by government. So once the spectrum issue is obtained by these low Earth orbit then the
What
telecom.
what is the spectrum? I don't
it's
know.
It's like gigahertz, megahertz. It's like the radio frequency off at which it goes. So, for example, I'm just giving you any numbers. Rogers will be like, say, 1900.
Yeah.
Telus will be running on 1750.
Okay.
And that's their spectrum that they run off. And then, so that was my understanding when I looked into it, that there was really no reason.
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying.
There was really no reason why you needed them in the way that Jose was trying to tell me.
All right, I see what you're getting at there. What was that? I mean, I was just like, yes, boom, CrowdStrike, 593. This thing's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 8 days in a row. Green, even more. Actually, no, 7 days in a row for CrowdStrike. Yeah, just steady up into the right.
Have you looked at divergence in market cap between Palo Alto and CrowdStrike now, or no?
Is it starting to converge, or
opposite, my friend? They were basically the same. You're talking about almost 200 billion market cap on PanW now. CrowdStrike is at 151. There's a big divergence, about 50 billion. That was not that way before. They were pretty close.
They were pretty close?
Yeah, my understanding, at least the way I recall it. I could be wrong.
I thought, so what I heard about that is that because PanW was the larger market cap name at the time.
It was almost the same, brother. I was thinking it was like 5 or 10 billion max.
Okay, yeah, I mean.
And difference between them. I could be wrong.
I don't know how we can find out a chart on that there.
We can probably find through AI. We'd have to double check it. You know what I've been doing? Since it hallucinates AI, is what I mean by it. I run the response and the question that I put into one AI into others, and then see if they double check it. You do it too, SSE, no? Exactly. Just because the hallucinations are what they are, right? Go ahead, Joe. I'm just going to find out here.
Yeah, are you going to look that up? Yeah. That's a good idea, because I don't know how we would be diverging if they're both climbing up. I don't know how that would be. I don't know. I don't know if anything has to do with the float. I don't know.
Good question.
Yeah. We'll figure that out here momentarily. There goes NVDL to the top side. FIG right back at the volume weighted average price. There was a good dip buy opportunity there. So price compressing. We're talking about a choppy session, but yet the NASDAQ is at the high of the day. So we consolidated from 1010 all the way up to 1250, and then we decided to break the high of the day now. So not too bad of a look whatsoever. Neil and I were talking about this morning, just the fact that if you're patient enough to get that dip buy in, the SPY is starting to climb. So that's good stuff. See if JPM is participating, 298. It is not. These banks, man, I don't know what's going on with them. Or JPM, that is. Anyways, Morgan Stanley, how are you doing on today? Yesterday, it did tap into that new all-time high. Goldman Sachs was doing the exact same thing, pretty close to its all-time high. Not a horrible session here, but the largest market capitalization name not participating. Let's see what IBIT just did. It might have broke out, to be honest with you. You dirty dog, you. Oh, yeah, I mean, it's right back up to the top. Flushes down into 84s. But you can see the market is starting to pick up some steam here, and it's mostly in FIG. It's looking pretty good now, guys. If you've been in off of those lows and there's a volume-weighted average price break, NVDL, I have that up there. I don't know why I have that. I should pull up NVDA just so we can see it a little bit cleaner. But consistent higher lows, right? We're not going to complain about that. Price was compressing, and then it decided to break to the top side. Qs here, once again, high of the day, and Tesla starting to pick up a little bit of momentum. So if you were fortunate enough to catch this one off of the bottom, channel break right here, trend break, 5-minute candle sits on the back side of it, and you're fortunate enough to catch a move all the way to VWAP.
No, it doesn't give you that info.
It doesn't give you that info?
I have to figure it out a different way. It's like just telling you random times. Oh, when they had platformization, their market cap was this and that. It's like, no, I'm asking for the overlap. But I'll
keep going. I can keep rambling on if you want to try a couple more.
QUCY is breaking out, Joey. I just want to cover this one, unless you have something important you want to cover.
No, go ahead. I'll try to find the answer to that.
Yeah, awesome. QUCY, guys, big move up. Let's load this one up on NQ. I put an alert for this one, which just rung through my ear. I put it at like 390. This one ripped into 420. So QUCY could be on the move here. Probably need to keep an eye out on this one. I'm seeing PII as well make a move. So it looks like these ones are back. QUCY is really starting to move. The tape is really picking up. The volume is really picking up. This could be ripping up here. I'm going to look for a move above 420. My side chart is not loading up, so I can't quite see what the 5 looks like. But don't forget, we did have some support here at 420, right over here. That was the halt up right around 4.25. We're right back into the 4 high teens. Let's see if the short sellers step in. Limit up currently is 438. So if we take out a lot of sellers, limit up 438. Look for that. Still showing 18s. Good look. Okay. So now we're above that halt level of 404. We're below the opening of the halt at 430. So we're kind of in no man's land here, a little bit of the gap in between this area. That's what I'm showing on the top screen there. 422 now showing up. The $0.25 is coming in here. Okay. QUCY. Let's see what this one has to offer here. I'm interested in this one, knowing full well that there is overhead resistance from that 10:30, 11 o'clock spike. So bag holders and short sellers could be earmarking that area for an exit or an entry, depending on whether they're short or getting out of their long. So I want to continue to watch. I want to see 4 as well. It's a good area of support. If it fails, does it come back down? Hold it. Here it comes. 4 single digits just showed up, low double digits. It's not a big QUCY, but it is a multi-day runner, right? So usually these ones have a reason why they're running multi-day. Otherwise, the shorts usually take them pretty down pretty quickly. Like these Chinese low float stocks that we often see make huge intraday moves. They almost always give up the ghost the next day or two. QUCY really hasn't done that. So continue to watch this one. And don't forget about PII as well, making a big move up. And we have a great trend here on the daily on QUCY. Breakout on the 13th, higher lows, higher highs on the 14th. Again, 15th, higher lows, higher highs on the 15th as well. So the daily looks good on QUCY. Whether intraday we can kind of take it out or what. Let's not forget about PII. Let's take off MRNO. Go PIII on the NQ. Here it is again. This is breaking through. If this breaks through 12, we could be on the way to 13 here. So we got a breakout on QUCY. We have $12 ripping through 12 into 12 and a third now is PII back above 200%. And this one could be looking at 13 quite soon. Let's see if the shorts keep this below 12. If we fail here and we breach with the subsequent low, that will be a lower high breach and probably essentially a bull trap.
I don't know how accurate this is.
Let's see.
Is it saying 150 billion, 160 billion?
Well,
right now?
I mean,
you say the
no,
market
brother,
cap was now?
because it's like right there, right? Well, based
I can't see it right there.
198.
190, yeah, so that can't be that accurate, but.
I actually used Grok for good charts as well. I found at one point ChatGPT, you know what it was telling me?
What's that?
It's like I got the information, but the information is proprietary. It's behind a
Oh,
paywall,
yeah,
so I've got it, but I
saying
can't give it to you.
Yeah, I
I was like, what? That was like peak horrible ChatGPT.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I was using other ones for that, but we can find it.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's not that hard.
Well, I
if you
mean,
really
that was
look,
as of
right?
May, 160 billion. So did Pan W potentially add $30 billion from the beginning of the month? I think
Well,
that's
Pan Dub is up
reasonable.
33% year to date, and crowd's like 26, going on 27
Sorry, what's that?
year to date.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit
Percent.
higher year to date. The best performing one is FTNT year to date, 54.5%. Then you have Pan Dub at 32.5%, and you have CrowdStrike at 26 and 4/5, and then you have Zscaler, which is negative 28.5% year to date. And then there's some others as well, but they're smaller a little bit.
E-skater. Yeah.
That's
All right,
it.
man. That's it. Yeah, I mean, I know IBIT, Minnesota Trader. I know it's
FTNT is
That was a nice
monster
little
lately, bro.
breakout there. I mean, hey, man, it is what it is. Should have held on to it a little bit. Shoulda, coulda, woulda.
What do you got up to on the weekend, Joey?
Nothing, man. We're just big chilling. We'll be outside for the whole weekend.
Bang.
Yeah, that's just the narrative. Just be outside, people. That's
Lena's
that's
back.
the type. That's the type of people that I am. Is
Good, bro.
being outside. I like being outside as much as I can.
Play some tennis with.
I wish I could play. I wish I could play tennis. I don't have that east to west movement yet, bro.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. I feel you.
I don't have that east to. I have the north south, but
North-south,
I
remember.
don't. But not to the fullest. But I don't have.
Coming
that,
back, baby. Soon.
I haven't really tried anything agile-wise other than just messing around with Milo around the house, even though I don't try to pivot too heavy or anything like that. I can't play pickleball. I can't do any of that stuff yet. Guys, you got to take into consideration, I'm like 4.5 months
Very
after
good,
having ACL surgery. It takes like 12 months to recover, right? The fact that I'm even.
Neil's calling us out already, bro.
We
I
say
love it.
missed the
He's
break.
like, whatever happened to the push-up challenge between these two? It's suspended.
Yeah, it
It's
got
suspended
got
indefinitely,
suspended, yeah.
Neil.
Come to Algonquin Park. I would love to.
I'd love to go to Algonquin.
I'm not drinking any more espressos, man.
Neil's coming in. Neil's coming
I'm
in
not
hot.
drinking any more espressos. Hell no.
Neil's coming in hot. Here
Off
we
of
go,
those
baby.
things, man.
I like it. I like it. Why are you saying that, Frank? Come on,
What
man.
Frank say?
Why would you say that, brother? Neil, get him, Neil.
He's a negative Nancy. That's why.
Is it working?
He's
I know.
coming
I already know I won't. It's just the reality of how it is.
I don't know about that, Joe.
No,
Ju-
trust me. I'm
Just
not
so
like.
you know, Joe.
Yeah.
If the market goes green today, you apparently have to drink 5 espressos.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I saw that in the chat, and
Yeah, I
usually,
seen you
usually
only-
things that get said are honored around here.
Oh.
Just like the pack
Okay,
chip
I'm
or whatever.
joking
Yeah,
around.
it was
I wouldn't
was
make
honored.
you do that. I wouldn't make you do that. That being said, if the market goes green today, we should do something. We should do like, I don't know, throw some
Can
burpees
you
in
imagine
there.
if it
It's
goes
impressive.
green?
I actually think
Oh,
there's a
going
chance
to.
it could go. I'm just going to leave it
I
at
think
that.
there is a
You could
chance.
drink 1 espresso.
Hold on, Neil. Aspired NQ.
I don't.
The NQ's up half since the open. The SPY's
Whichever's
only up
closer.
0.13 since the open.
Whichever's closer.
Whichever one's closer. Yeah, there you go.
I like
That's
what
what we're going
Bruv
with.
said.
All right,
I
I
like what Bruv said.
I think Adair's got breaking news.
She does.
Yeah.
I do. And it actually concerns a sector we don't talk about too much. These insurance names are going to be in play here. PGR is one. The other on watch here is LMND. Now, we know we talked earlier about this finance feature from OpenAI's ChatGPT competing with SoFi. Now we have some Anthropic competition. They're going to be live deploying insurance underwriting. So Anthropic now deploying some insurance underwriting. You've got LMND, Lemonade, and PGR. Progressive, they're both moving lower here, as you can see. Back to you.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Joe, Jay Lee, that is correct.
I love Jay Lee, bro.
Bro, that's so.
You know he's from Burlington,
that's
right?
So
He's close by.
disrespectful, man. Did you
What'd
see
he
what
say?
your boy said, man? That's
No, I like
crazy.
Jay Lee though. He came hot. He came for you hot, didn't he?
I'm mad hot.
Where is it? I don't even
It's like
see
the
it.
third from the bottom.
Third from the
comment.
bottom.
Yeah, right above Nightbot there.
Nightbot? I don't see
Bro,
it.
Nightbot, keep going down. Keep going
Nightbot's
down,
right there.
Nightbot. You see
Yeah.
Nightbot?
Oh, that's not. Oh, that's JL. Okay.
Yeah, bro, that's
Joey
Jay
Burr.
Lee, man. They're crazy.
Crazy.
Crazy, man.
Why would you say that?
Yeah, man, that's wild talk. Man.
Guys, PI is on the move here, man. 12 and a half. We could see 13. There's 12.89. Here we go again with PIII. We are now knocking on the door of 13. This is what Obi would call tape teleportation. The tape is really moving here. Let's pick up some higher lows. So we got a $0.50 defend there. I think I probably end the trade if I had to get in below 12. There we go, a dip down. Oh no, it just lured everybody in, lost 12. Holding up a little bit now. It's got higher low still. Prior bar low takes us down to 1137. We're on the move down here. It feels like locally the trend has lost its way. Let's flip to the 5 second. Let's get a better look. So there is an 1175 buyer if we are to lose 12. There is a lot of support at 1175, but prior bar low. We've opened up a new bar now. So that's not 1137 anymore. Prior bar low, 1160. We're showing above 12, though. A lot of topping tails. That's not really giving me a lot of confidence here below. Let's give this a try. Into 1160, I said it was, right? That's the 11 bar low. We'll give it to 55s. And then if it really wants to lose trend, then what can we do? We'll have to give it to 40. So what do we get in at? 1193. Let's see if this one loses prior bar low. If it is, we're out. I'm looking for another move, possibly into the $0.25, into the $0.50 ideally, but it'll have to reclaim 12, showing a red candle here, and it's preceded by a topping tail candle. It is not a good setup, but I'm going to give it to the low of 60. The seller here at 89.90. Can't push that seller through. Can't even get back to 12, Joey. So continuing to watch here. Let's see if we can get back up into the quarter to the half.
I was actually, that actually made me laugh. actually made me laugh, man. No, you guys are absolutely comical. NVDA going back up to 229. This is what we want to see, man. As the market bottom in now, was today the day? We talked about this. It just took a majority of the session. There's 2.5 hours left, a little bit less, in order for the market to find some form of a rebound. But it's literally that strong that if you sit on your hands and you don't get out of the breakouts a little bit too early, just because you're sick of sitting in the chop, you get these big time moves here in the latter half of the day. Trend line break on Tesla, off to the races it goes. SPY and also Fig starting to head right back towards the high of the day, now north of $23. So a good look there across the board. That was funny. I'll give it to you there. But Jesse, when I tell you you're free money, man, it's not even funny. It's just free cash for me. So you're
cash, homie.
Free cash, homie, man. That's lunch. I race dudes like you on the way to the race. You know what I mean? So it ain't nothing.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
I love that expression. I race dudes like you on the way to the race?
Yeah.
Is he your warm-up?
Yeah, bro.
You're just saying he's your warm-up?
Yeah, it's over, man.
It's over.
Man.
It's over.
That's what we used to say, man.
That's
in the gym. It's
crazy. I love that expression.
I fought dudes like you on the way to the fight, so it's just like, hey, man,
fantastic.
we're all about to smoke. No, obviously playing around. Man. This market's going screaming higher. This market's screaming higher.
Good.
I told you, man, it's hard. You can't beat me in the chirping game, man. It's a tough beat as the market continues to scream, man. We're having a good time. It's Friday. Apple up to 303, Google up to 397. Not too bad of a look. And then we also have Microsoft. For some reason, the chart doesn't want to pull up there, but Softy climbing higher up to 420.
Joe wants all the smoke.
Yeah.
Yeah, he does, bro.
Man, you know what's
we got to
going
show him
on.
that video?
No, we don't.
It's been a minute since we showed him the video, though.
No, we don't want to do that.
The thing is, what you're misunderstanding, Joey, is we constantly have newer viewers.
We do?
And unless they know that you're Joey Hands, then there isn't that level of respect.
Did I tell you?
Know what I mean? Like,
did I tell you? So on my way home, I drive past the gym every day, right? And I seen one of the old trainers there, and I hopped out. And as soon as he see me, he's just got, like, 'cause it's been a couple of years. Yeah, he's like
he
a
knows.
monster. So.
Yeah. Where's that video?
Look at the head of hair there.
Yeah,
man.
bro.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
you could come back,
Good
right?
stuff,
Just a
man.
quick trip here and there. You know what I mean? It's right back to business.
Yeah, right back to business.
Right back to
man.
business.
Right.
All right, keep chirping, Joe. People loving it, man.
Yeah.
I'm loving it on a Friday as well. I don't even know what I'm up to today, but I just know that I don't want to go back home. So we're gonna figure.
You don't
we're gonna
wanna go back
gallivant.
home?
No.
Oh, what time you got? What are you doing after this?
I don't know. I'm gonna gallivant though. We're gonna
Okay,
figure
you're
it
gonna
out.
explore a little bit. Maybe walk down to Dundas Square. Or
No, I'm gonna see what the buddies are up to. See if
what the
they're
gang is up
willing to
to.
make a move downtown. I'm gonna be downtown all day tomorrow for my sister. She's back in town.
Oh, she's in town.
Yeah,
Nice,
yeah.
man,
Just coming for
nice.
like a weekend, quick. See everybody, and there's a concert that her and her hubby are going to. In fact, her hubby's sister moved here, and so now
really?
they never both had roots here. It was just my sister with roots.
Yeah,
in Toronto. Now they both got roots, so they're making some more trips.
You obviously don't have to answer, but why would the sister-in-law move to Toronto from California?
It's a great question. She wasn't from California.
Oh.
They're Jordanian, but they lived in Qatar.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they were working in Qatar, so his company moved him here, right? That's why he's here. But his daughter actually goes to McMaster. He sent her to McMaster, so that was like a reason for them to come. Yeah. That's before they shut the door on international students. Now the door is completely shut. You feel that. And it's a bit of a tough one there, but that's kind of the way it goes. Did I get a haircut? No, I didn't. I just didn't do my hair this morning. So I went straight to the lab. I had to do a bunch of medical tests. And I was like, I can't be bothered. It's a Friday, man. Come on. I can't show up to one day with a hat. And you're like, come on, man. No, I get my haircut every 2 weeks. So that's on deck for next week. By the way, I'm thinking about actually changing my barber, and this would be the first time in like
crazy,
3 years.
That's a big move.
The big move, yes. But the thing is, the barber that I would go to, he used to be my barber.
Yeah.
It was just impossible to get a time with this guy, right? And you had to book online, and you had to book like a week, 2 weeks in advance. And I just wasn't about that whole life, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I stopped going to him. But I'm thinking, maybe it's time to start seeing him again. We'll have to look. Thank you. It's me. Shout out to you guys. Mark Mosqueda. I love Formula Racing. I love my... Okay, all right. All eyes on Marvell for earnings coming up. Shout out to Twisted X Gamer. Thank you for the $2 super chat. Katina Man involved in MRVL. They're having a great year. Marvell is up 112% year to date. Great name for multiple reasons and multiple different stacks in the overall AI stack. Of course, they have custom ASICs, they have photonics, they have other things as well. So Marvell looking fantastic. Let's start with the daily over here. Yeah, you're still getting the higher lows and higher highs. Obviously, you're going to have it's a high beta name, right? But you've got a big move up. I like the higher lows, Joey. There does seem to be a bit of a flat top that got broken through between 170 to 175. Levels off that, 170 to 175 are buys, and you can clearly see Marvell had plenty of that today. It's trading at 180.58. Look at the low, 170.60 on the dot. Buyers are picking up Marvell at former area of technical resistance. Now showing support, I'm talking about 170. Look, I think we've got more, as I mentioned earlier. I think, obviously it's always company specific, but as a general rule, I think a lot of these forward guidance, the forward guidance, pardon me, that some of these semi-names are giving is a little conservative, and I think we could have even more price adjustments or valuation adjustments once the next set of earnings reports come in. And if they beat their guide and even guide even higher, that's just my bias. It's a bias that I have, but I think everybody has to make their decisions for themselves, Joey.
Good stuff. Angry Wife with a question. If I think a stock runs $10 in a day consistently, and a put option for $80 strike is $3 expiring on the Friday, what is preventing me from buying lots of 100 shares and a put limiting downside? I don't really understand that question. I see what you're getting at. If I think a stock runs $10 a day consistently and a put option for $80 strike is $3 expiring on the Friday, what is preventing me from buying lots of 100 shares and putting and a put to limit the downside? So you're hedging your. So you like talking about your married puts? I don't know, man. Write it down and see what. Honestly, Jesse, you could do that. The only thing that is you just not pulling the trigger. To be honest with you, that's the straightest answer I could give. Just try it out a couple of times to see if it works out for you. Bitcoin's starting to come back in, but we have NVDA really popping back up into that 230 marker. That's what we want to see here. Pre-market, we had a high of around 238. Let's zoom out here a little bit.
Look how much better the new version looks like, though. Like, look at this.
Yeah.
I mean, wait till she starts.
How much
actually
that thing
writing.
run? How much that thing?
Probably
run?
a couple of grand, but it's like if they're brand new.
Yeah.
Look how fast that thing is.
Yeah, it's pretty
Significantly
quick.
better than spending 20 grand on a jet ski.
But she probably weighs like 100
That's
pounds.
the thing.
Right?
That's the thing,
Yeah,
right? And that's
yeah.
probably why they selected her to go on,
Yeah,
as opposed to like a big dude from North Carolina who's
Dude, if you're gonna spend a couple grand, you might as well just buy an older. You can get an older jet ski. You know what I mean?
But this is battery powered.
Yeah,
that's the whole thing there. I'm not gonna shut up about this thing, bro.
Then just get it. It's either get one.
Try to sell it.
Do it. Yeah,
make $500 on it, and it'll reinvest it or lose 500.
Or lose.
We have so much Assassino. That's what I was trying to tell him. Cottage culture, very much in the DNA of Southern Ontario.
If you ask me, I don't know, but I think cottage. Our cottage world is world class. Our cottage culture is world class.
I would have to say so. Given the amount of fresh water we have.
Exactly, the most amount of fresh lakes on the planet. I think we're world class when it comes to that, right?
I would agree, dude.
Lots of cash up there with all the retired hockey guys and stuff. But there it is, right? Like we were talking about NVDA topping into 238. It sold off $10 at the low. You're now up $6 off of the low, and the market continuing to climb. Fig was another missed opportunity on our behalf for the reload. We may as well stick with what was strong, and that was this name right here. Trendline holding up. There is a couple whipsaw moves within this, but other than that, not too bad of a look, especially once it started to base out and show some buying pressure within there. Let's send it off to Adair.
Not good news.
What
I
happened?
just want to give you guys a heads up here. I'm seeing reports. We've been seeing this for the last couple days, so just keep that in mind. Market and USO not really reacting, but there are reports. According to a top Israeli official, Israel is preparing itself for the possibility of restarting the conflict with Iran. So again, we're possibly getting a restart of the conflict with Iran. Now, it's worth noting, because we've seen similar comments over the last couple of days, the market not really reacting here. Neither is USO. Back to you.
See that that workout video that Bibi Netanyahu put out?
No, I haven't.
No?
No, what is it?
He got roasted online. He's sitting there doing a workout, but it really wasn't a workout.
What was he doing?
I don't know, something. But he was getting roasted online, bro. Let me see if I could find it, man. He like did like some tricep pull downs, and he's like doing one arm curls with like 5-10 pounds, and that was his session. That apparently was
a little uptick in the T levels. This guy wants to get right back into
workout,
fight, man.
Working out. Let's see if I can find.
I'm saying,
Yes. Oh, very important.
I'm not playing this game. I'm not playing this game.
Knock knock.
I'm not playing it.
Who's there?
I don't know. I'm not playing it.
Who's there?
Who's there, man?
You tell me. Yeah, look at this guy, bro. He's getting it at work. He's doing a little tricep pull downs there. Get it, BB. No, man, but he got roasted online. I go to the comment section right away when I see something like that. I never comment, but I always get.
How old is it? How old?
He's old, bro.
Yeah, exactly.
He's been around for a minute.
At least.
I remember this guy was leading Israel when I was in high school, bro. And that was at the end of the 90s, like 99. This guy was around during Clinton's time. And he's been in and out of politics for like 2-3 decades.
Yeah.
Joe, what is this guy doing, man?
What's up, buddy?
I like it. Shout out to Last Ja. Thank you for the $2 super chat.
What's going on?
Got another 15 minutes left.
Joe who? Oh, I see what we're getting on here. Okay, send the additional $2 super chat. Joe who? And we're gonna wait. We're gonna sit here and wait for it. Let's see what we got going on.
Hey, man, he's having a good time.
Yeah,
he's not hurting nobody.
Yeah.
He's not hurting nobody.
He ain't hurting nobody, man. It's all fun and games, man. You know, Jesse, you know that it's all love, brother.
There it is. Who, Joe Mama? I knew it, man. Of course it was coming in. That Joe Mama was coming in fast and furious. You knew that for a fact. For a fact.
Thanks for the $6 on that one.
Having a good time,
That's crazy,
guys.
man.
What are your plans for the weekend, guys? Throw it in, man. I want to hear what you guys are up to. Who's going outside? What are your activities that you're going to do on the weekend? Are you going to be by the lake? Are you going to be by the water? You taking the opportunity to camp? I hear it's beautiful on the East Coast. I don't think it's just Toronto. So let's throw your plans in the chat. We'll call some of them out. See some of the more interesting comments that we get here. See what people are up to. Sauble Beach, the real Gary F. The world's longest beach.
Let's go, man. We're going there in August.
Sauble. Isn't that the world's longest beach?
I don't know if it
Fresh
is.
Beach or was that Wasaga? It was one of them.
It's one of them. But Wasaga Beach is outside.
Like the
Jody's going to be outside, lakebound as well, too. So enjoying that.
Lakebound. That's what I want to hear, Jody.
Yeah, that's exactly what we want to hear.
My 7 to 8-year-old cleaning my basement, helping bro around the farm, then around golf. Love it.
Bro?
I'm going to take the wave runner out. That's the kind of energy I want to hear. Going to take my camera. Thank God I did not read the rest of that. What is wrong with you, bro? You're getting timed out for a couple of minutes for putting that on there.
Yeah, time him out.
But user timeout. You're going to get 10 minutes.
Was it funny or 10 minutes?
No, it's not. It's like, no. New electric DeWalt trimmer. I'll be making the yard look dope, says Big Sky 69. That's what I want to hear, man. By the water every day in Pan Pacific side, water by me, says
Bro,
Dark.
who says that stuff?
I don't know. That's why I timed him.
Yeah, I would have gave him a day for that.
Right? Yeah, old day, whatever. It's fine. Headed to the lake, Tahoe, California.
Lake Tahoe, nice.
Paying $6 per gallon to give me a good stock to finish the day. Yeah, I feel bad, man.
NVDA.
Yeah. Well, look what's strong, man.
Snow in Calgary?
Softy's ripping.
Sucks, man.
Softy's ripping right now, 4.5%.
Oh, nice. Paintball tournament, speedball
Snow in Calgary.
That's crazy, man.
That is crazy. I feel bad, but, you know, you guys have really hot summers, too, in Calgary, right, from my understanding.
But it must be a little bit shorter than what we got going on because it's snowing there and it's 20 degrees here.
Is it actually snowing? What's the weather like tonight in Calgary?
Forecast is calling for cloudy skies and rain in the evening Calgary.
What's it say on there?
Temperatures will range from a high of 14 at 6 p.m. to a low of 7 around midnight.
That's crazy. What kind of snow are you getting?
Yeah,
7
what kind of
degrees?
snow? I get it now. Right?
Oh my days.
You get it now.
Oh my days. Oh my.
All right, man.
So that's
Pull
what
up the
that-
treasury yields. All right, we could do that. What's TLT? TLT
See
is the
if the track
10-year,
hits
right?
it.
It's the 20-year. Straight. Oh, TLT down here. TLT down, Sharif.
TLT down.
Yeah.
That's a
TLT
20-year?
Yeah, it's a 20-year to the downside. 80.
So when the price of the bond goes up, what does that mean about the yield? Joseph options? That means it's higher.
Yeah, man.
Yields
It's
are
actually
ripping.
going down right now.
Inflation prediction is not looking good. Probably some of the reasons we're selling off. I'd say the semis may be selling off a little bit here is a lack of a deal between President Trump, President Xi, specific to semiconductors. But you also have to
That we know
assume
of.
we got 2 bad inflation prints this week.
That was brushed off earlier in the week. too.
Yeah, but you know, it can get
Brushed
digested
off.
later.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So that is a
Slow
little bit of a
reaction.
huge recession indicator. It says Matt Mertz, 7 degrees. It's from military training. He says, okay. I hope it's not a recession indicator. I think that we're probably a little bit, I'd say, I know it doesn't sound like it's early, but I think we probably got another couple of years secular bull cycle.
Like, I don't think GDP is gonna. What is it coming at per year? They're at the states is at like 4% right now,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, let's not talk about Canada.
Well, we already know where that is.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, hey, man.
I'm starting to run out of a little patience. I'm not going to tell.
With Carney?
Yeah, a little bit. I want to see a lot more done. I'm willing to give him more time.
Dude.
I'm
There's
willing to
too
give him
much
more time.
regulation here.
Yeah, he controls that. Okay,
I
so
know.
a majority government in Canada essentially means you're a freaking king. Okay, you can push your agenda through without resistance, and he's got a party whip. Basically, everybody votes in line.
Doing
right?
other things, man.
I mean, give me a break. Right. So I want to see stuff get done sooner rather than later, bro. I mean, like a lot of people are counting on that. We'll see.
Yeah.
Hangry wife, the polo's
We're from
working
Canada.
unpaid overtime. Yeah, I know. I didn't buy it when it was this
Hangry
night.
wife
I
said
promise.
that?
I gave him a
Yeah,
little bit
what's
away.
Fig? Yeah, Fig is looking pretty good here, guys. Yeah, I mean, dude, wait, who's this guy? Last Raja? We are Canadian. Didn't you just super chat a bunch too? Anyways, check out Microsoft Softy at the high of the day. Yeah, we were talking about this name from the get-go. MSFT, potential dip buy, man. $427, going absolutely oppo taco right now. I guess it isn't because. But I thought the market would be significantly stronger. The 4th heaviest weighted name at the high of the day, and Apple doing the exact same thing, climbing higher. But there was literally no tandem. Like the market wasn't moving in tandem with these two giants. So I find that a little bit interesting. But good looks here across the board. All-time high within this name. You can see that we tapped into that 303 level, a little bit higher, and then we're officially breaking trend on Microsoft from the downside price action. I said, if you're looking to buy anything, we're still down 20-something plus %. Watch for the market to 22%, right? Like, still down 22% off the highs. 440 could be an additional pivot level as well.
The Spurs aren't playing tonight, bro. What are you talking about? It's Villa versus Liverpool.
No, this is Texas, my guy. Like
Spurs
the
game.
San Antonio
No.
Spurs.
Oh, okay, because he was talking about Arsenal after I figured Tottenham
you've
Hotspurs,
seen that.
right?
Yeah.
You know, like, okay, so San Antonio Spurs tonight,
Yeah.
then hit the beach for the weekend. Shout out to Ayo Lewis.
Where's AO? Oh,
That's
is
Ayo.
Lewis.
South Padre Island, Texas, ready for 2 more weeks. PSG scoring 3 goals on Arsenal. My man, the entire tournament, Arsenal gave up 6 goals. I think Paris gave up like 20-something. So I get their offense is what it is, man. And I'm a big fan of Desiree Doué. I'm a big fan of Vitinha. What's that Cavascalia guy? I can never really pronounce his name, the left winger. So Juan is saying 4-3 Arsenal. Did I get that right? 4-3 Arsenal. We haven't been putting in the type of goals we were putting in the beginning of the year, but I don't think you're getting 3 past us. We'll wait and see. Who knows? TDIC, 90 Petty, says a Rune Warrior. We've got about 5 minutes left here on the show. Then your boy Joey Option is going to mosey on over.
Yes, sir.
Into the other desk, filling in for the Katina man, who's off until Monday. Is it Monday?
Tuesday, he'll be back.
So he'll be filling in for Monday as well?
Monday, yes, sir.
And then Neil and the Joey Option. OG Joey up. Going to take you into the close. I hope everybody had a great week. It was a good week for us here on the show. We'll stay positive all week.
Nice, man.
Tuesday was my only negative day, so good look there. We started off well on Monday. Tuesday was a tough day, but then we made it up the rest of the week, so happy about that. And yeah, we'll continue to hopefully, do a little bit more of that, Joey. Yeah, definitely give a lot of LFT yesterday off the top with the halt up. Could have been a much bigger week.
Oh, you don't even tell me. Yeah,
I know. Bro, a lesson learned. I mean, clearly, my plan was to take out half at the high. The flat key doesn't work in those situations, so I have to come up with another plan. If you don't experience that, you don't know for next time.
You don't know exactly, man. There it goes. Look at Bitcoin, guys. A big time amount of volume kicking in. Figma heading right back towards the high of the day. We have all of the mega cap names continuing to climb. Look at this volume really start to kick in there, guys. And we've seen the clean flushes on the tape. Look at all this size step in, right? That's a good thing about having the time and sales. A lot going on right now, so be prepared, man, on a lot of these names. Strong movement.
Joey, let me cover this.
Yeah, go ahead.
GPUS is ripping. I don't know why. I can try to look in a second. Hyperscaler data. I'm seeing hyperscaler data come in here, but the rip is on. Great call there, Neil. 12 penny, 12 and a fifth. It's ripping into 18. It's up 41% in a matter of seconds here. The breakout, let's flip to the 1 minute chart here on GPUS. The breakout essentially happened at 145, so it's 12 minutes long now, old, whatever. Here's the headline. I'm looking for the headline right there. Okay, we got it. So hyperscaler data to commence tender up for $5 million, a share at 21 cents per share. Okay, so GPUS, that's hyperscaler data. This is on the Amex, by the way. So this is let me just bring it in here so you guys can pause this if you want. You can have a read through this. That's the whole point of YouTube. You can pause. So there it is. You can read through that. That's the headline there. So we're going to keep an eye on this. Good volume coming in here, Joey, about 15.5 million shares, quick as you like. Each of these candles has about 5 million shares a pop right now on GPUS. Let's load it up on a trading screen, see what we're getting here in terms of spread. I forgot, this is on the Amex, sorry. We're right into 17 pennies. Let's move this out of the way so we can get a better look at the 5 minute chart on GPUS. Topping till candle into 1790. Nope, sorry. I have to organize myself here. I was like ready to shut down and everything. Now one comes in and everything's disorganized. There we go. All right, let's take a quick look. 17 buyer here. So as I mentioned, 1790 high. Current candle low, 1653. Prior candle low, 1469. Holding above 17 for now. Volume is about 56 million still. 37% and going. This is a decent headline, especially because it's 21 pennies there. So there's obviously an arb between where we're trading at 17 and change and 21. Trade it carefully though. It doesn't have to go there in a straight line. So should probably take off.
Yeah, yeah. It's that time, man. Let's get the other party, the final party of the evening. All right, guys, you'll see me momentarily. I hope everyone has a fantastic one. No need for me to say goodbye. We'll allow Sharif to do that, guys. So give me a couple of moments.
Yeah, take your time. We'll get got something to talk about now. GPUS. Let's give this one. We're going to give this one here into 16 and a half. There's a buyer at 16 and a half. We'll go 16. If it loses 16, we're out of this one. But I'm definitely looking for a move in. Let's see if we got that. Oops, my mistake there. Oops, come on. There we go. We're missing the price action. Okay, I think this one's blocked in our system as well. Yeah, I know. It's okay. Yeah, I just got a bunch of error messages. That's okay. It doesn't do that much. It's good? Thanks, Neil. Okay, looking for the move. Not for me anyway. That's fine. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. It's blocked. 1877 high. It's ripping up here. 1877 up. I can't quite see what limit up is yet. So, but this one feels like it's on the way to 20. 18 and 3/4. Technically 1877 is the high. Up 45%. Just to give you some data here, prior bar low is 1653. Current bar low is 1817. So generally holding above $18, 18 pennies, pardon me, currently on the 5 minute chart. So that's what I'm looking at there. Neil's looking at this one as well, but I don't know if it's available for Neil. It's not available for me. So dropping down here a little bit into 17. So it's lost 18. Let's see if it holds up at 17 pennies. There's definitely that support at 17. If it holds up there, it could be good. If it's below, though, this area and that bottom wick, which is basically 16, which is basically 16 and a half, I'd be looking for a bigger retracement, probably into VWAP, which is 16 pennies. So that's what I'm looking at there. But we'll give the boys another minute or so just to kind of get locked in. But yeah, I hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. And if GPUS is going to run here, I'm looking for the loss now of prior bar